is picking up some steam, expanding at a slightly faster pace in the first quarter than previously estimated, reflecting less damage from trade and inventories. Gross domestic product rose at an annualized rate of 0.8%. That compares with the 0.5% advance that the government reported last month. Stock futures still slightly higher ahead of some remarks today by Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen. She'll be attending an event at Harvard University. Crude oil is lower now by 0.6% at $49.18 a barrel. Looking for something new on Wall Street? You'll find it. This is the busiest week so far this year for initial public offerings. Among those making their public debut yesterday was U.S. Foods Holding, the biggest corporate IPO this year. Shares of the food distributor rose about 8% in their debut. The U.S. IPO market ground to a crawl beginning late last summer amid a stock market rout and a surge in volatility. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Great thing about Sleep Train, a lot of times when you make a purchase and you sit there and you're like in need of consultation or any kind of advice or anything, seems like the doors are shut and, well, never going to happen at Sleep Train. I think if you could graph the return customer percentage, it would be huge because, for one thing, they know their product, they've got great product, and they got great deals on those products. Hence, mattress price wars going on right now where you can save up to $400 off on the Beauty Rest and the Posturepedic. Or if you want to go the Tempur HD models, you can do that too. You won't find that anywhere else. We're talking about on approved credit with up to 35 equal monthly payments required. At least look at the Tempur HD. I think you're going to be very, very pleased with the all the Tempur products. Of course, Beauty Rest, Sealy, Serta, just because we lay our respective heads in our respective bedrooms many, many miles apart on those Tempur-Pedics, you might fall in love with something completely different. That's the great thing about America. That's the great thing about Sleep Train. You've got many choices.
So head on in, discover the choices yourself. Walk in and be overwhelmed with choices. Do I take that one? I can't stand it. Sleep Train, Albany, Corvallis, Eugene, and Springfield. And when you go in there, tell them Bill and Rob overact. Please.
The Wake Up Call with Holloway and London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
6:28 before you disinfect your radio and sit there and put your radio on the other side of the room. It's not any kind of sickness that would be allergic. I do believe what you hear, the throatiness, is caused by the lovely pollen particles that we find in our fair community. Like clockwork, the last week of, it's like the famous window, last week of May, all of June, and a couple hours of July with the grass seed production. That's when it really hits me the worst, and it kind of hits you like a ton of bricks. It's amazing. Those little tiny particles, so small, and they have such huge effects on so many people out there. If you don't have any allergic or hay fever symptoms or conditions or anything like that, just, man, thank your lucky stars. It is not fun.
See, for a second there, I thought you were going to say, if you're one of those folks that don't have the symptoms, I hate you. I thought you were going to say that. I thought you were going there, and I applaud you for not being. For not going negative.
Silently resent them.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I don't hate them. No. You know, it's almost like you couldn't script it any better. Last night, my first softball game of my career in the 50 and above league. First time I get on base, rounding second, going to third. And what do you think happens? Do I trip over my own feet? Do I just forget which direction I'm supposed to run?
I'm thinking that probably what happened is that you may have accidentally run into somebody and you just peed a tiny bit. Was that what happened?
That was an inning before that.
Okay.
Yeah. I pulled a hamstring, just locked up. All of a sudden you're like, no. And I stretched. The only thing I can think of, I was dehydrated. But I'm thinking, it's almost like the bell goes off when you turn 50. And I'm going to say this, but I'm not going to let it happen. But all of a sudden you turn 50 and all of a sudden like, okay. And as I'm walking in to the dugout, and this is a great league because the next inning, when it was my turn to bat, I could bat and I didn't have to run. So I had a runner that was ready to go on contact. I can hit the ball and just stand there. And like, well, I kind of want to do that every time I'm up to bat now. It's great. Aside from like having to use walkers on the base
some
path,
sort of analogy
you've
for
got
life
different.
here?
You've got different bases, so you don't. There's no, catcher confrontations. It's not like you're going to have to bowl somebody over.
I just think that there's an analogy that could be made here for life in general.
It's too difficult.
like,
we need
okay,
to have
so-
our own base runners.
So I go up there and I hit the ball, and then somebody else runs for me. So I went out the other day, I robbed the bank, and my neighbor went to jail for it. It's you could apply that to so many different things in life. Well, I sat down, I ate the steak, I ate the baked potato, I had the cake that went along with it, and this guy I work with got fat.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I'm thinking there's a lot of different ways that you can apply this.
Designate who should get it.
Well, I sat there. I drank a 6-pack and a half, and this total stranger got the DUI.
As I'm walking through the dugout, each one of the players on the team started sharing their maladies. And some of them had just happened that night.
Oh man, okay. I don't even want to hear this. This is one thing that having an elderly parent that you find yourself with around older people, and they spend an inordinate amount of time, and God bless them,
Not
because
everybody,
they don't have
not
anything
every
to
older
do.
person.
They spend an inordinate amount of time talking about their medical maladies, their ailments, and so on and so forth. And it's one thing to have a conversation with somebody, and they've got something serious going on, and that's all fine and good. But it's like, oh yeah, well, I pulled a hammy. Oh, I tore my rotator cuff. Oh, my finger. I mean, it's just like, oh God, you're turning into one of those, Rob. You're already turning into one of those. Yeah, you're gonna be one of those old people that sits around and it's like, I got a hangnail and it hurts, and I tried to deal with it and it bled. You're going to be
There's like
one of those.
367 times that you've thrown something out there that you've been so wrong about. And this is one of those cases.
No, it's not. You're going to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
You're going to be one of those that sits there with the rest of your friends, and you're just going to sit there and trade, stories to the emergency room and the doctor, and your emergencies. With constipation.
You think you're higher than thou. You do similar things over there, so don't sit there and try to profess to be angelic, because you are far from it.
No, but you're sitting
right,
there telling me
how
with your softball group, you're all sitting around talking about your ailments. You're already there, my friend.
I said you didn't even listen.
Yes, I did.
As I'm walking through the dugout, they were sharing their maladies with me.
Yep, there you are, having the conversation with the entire team.
All right, let's change the subject. So the conversation that Shannon Nill, is that his name, Shannon Nill?
Yeah, from
Guarantee.
Guarantee, yeah.
He talks about his happy place, coming up with a 3-day weekend. If somebody's out there looking for a new place to check out that maybe isn't, a day and a half drive, but somewhere close by, where's your happy space here in the state, in our region?
Oh, wow. I guess there's probably a bunch of them. I just like anything,
narrow down to
anything that
2.
has water. I mean, the coast. I mean, personally, so when I hop on the motorcycle and I have nowhere to go and no agenda, a lot of times I'll head to Depot Bay, go to Ainsley's, which has been there since 1946, grab a little bag of caramel corn, and sit on the seawall. I love that. So that's a happy spot. there is, if you take 228,
And for somebody that maybe is new to the area, Depot Bay is
halfway between Lincoln City and Newport on Highway 101.
so
It's almost dead center between the two.
about 2.5 hours.
No. Well, I guess, from the Eugene area, I guess it would be
Yeah.
a longer trip. For me, I mean, I live over in Philomath, so it's like 40 minutes to get to Newport and probably another 15 to get to, so maybe an hour to get to Depot Bay. So that's one. Another one I really like is Highway 228 off of I-5, which is the back way into Sweet Home. There is a turnoff at Hawley, which is this little wide spot in the road. You make a right turn. It is upper Calpullia Road, I think is what it is. And there's just that Calpullia River is just gorgeous. And you just kind of drive along that, and you get to the end of it. I mean, the road just stops. It's a paved road that ends. There it is. It's now done.
Off what highway?
228.
228. Okay.
So that area up there is gorgeous, and I actually sometime would like to go up there and see if there's any fish in there. I think there are. That's pretty. And if you're just looking for a place to go sit and have a picnic, out of Shed off of 99E would be Thompson's Mill. And that little area out there is beautiful. There's a little park, and I'm not talking about a park like playground and stuff. It's just a little park. They've got a couple of picnic tables there. It's gorgeous. There's chickens running around, ducks and stuff like that, and you're right along the Calpullia. Those are a couple of areas that are fairly nearby and fairly pretty. So
Fairly pretty.
Yeah.
Not gorgeous, but fairly pretty.
It depends on how you define gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, what your definition of gorgeous is. Whether you're looking for vistas, if you're looking for vistas, you're not going to find vistas unless you're at the Oregon coast.
All right. We got to break cloudy and call it 48 degrees. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Get set to save now at Mid-Valley Tractor, your local Kubota dealer. Take command of your lawn care needs with a new Kubota Commander zero-turn mower. Get commercial-grade performance and a full 4-year factory warranty at a price you can afford. Now during the Get Set to Save sales event, get a special introductory price of $38.99 and 0 down and 0% financing for 36 months. Now through June 30, 2016. Call toll-free 1-800-794-4992 for details about cost and terms. Great prices, great products from people you can trust. Mid-Valley Tractor on Highway 99.
Shopping for your next grill at Midgley's is easy and convenient. Unlike home improvement stores, a walk across Midgley's doesn't require a relay baton. We know all about grills, too. Just don't ask us about sandpaper or toilet seats. And you don't need to remember where you parked. Our customer-friendly lot is directly behind our store. Get your next grill at Midgley's. We're at 7th and Chambers in Eugene. Midgley's. Anywhere else, and you're just playing with fire. CCB 161946.
You are a business owner.
I am a business owner.
You want to grow,
That's true. I do want to grow my business,
but you need help.
especially with how I'm going to grow my business.
So you call U.S. Bank.
Good idea. They'll know how.
Our custom solutions give you what you need to expand.
That's just what I need to expand.
Add a production line.
Wow. Can you believe that production line?
Give you operating capital.
Can't operate without operating capital.
And help your business grow even more.
I think I'm going to need a bigger office.
With a business banker there by your side every step of the way.
Maybe I should start another business.
Visit your local U.S. Bank branch or usbank.com/quickloan today. U.S. Bank, the power of possible. Equal housing lender. Credit products offered by U.S. Bank National Association and are subject to normal credit approval and program guidelines. See your banker for details. Deposit products offered by U.S. Bank National Association, member FDIC.
Guys, if you've been using or wanting to try Viagra but are worried about the costs, we have great news. Now you can finally get real results at huge discounts with our Healthy Man alternative to the little blue pill. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get results for a fraction of the price? Call today and get 40 pills for only $99. Others cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us if you want real results at the lowest prices. Never pay $15 a pill for Viagra Viagra when you can get real results for less than $3 per pill. Call 800-375-1270 today and save over $500. You can have those breathtaking, toe-curling moments again and again. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Call right now and we'll rush you your supply delivered discreetly to your door. Just call 800-375-1270. That's 800-375-1270. Again, 800-375-1270.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. We've got partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy due to the marine layer out there. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s and light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10, as well as a little bit of light coastal drizzle. Now, as we move through the day, we'll see partly cloudy skies move in this afternoon. See this cloud deck start to break up. That'll allow things to warm up a bit, back into the mid-60s to a couple of low 70s. I also expect winds to pick up in the afternoon out of the northwest at 10 to 15, a few gusts of 20. There's good news in the forecast, though. We are tracking a ridge of high pressure set to move in Saturday into your Sunday for the holiday weekend and then sit over the Pacific Northwest for several days, bringing sunshine, and by the time we get to the middle to late part of next week, temps are going to be back into the mid-80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day.
The top stories and the most in-depth local coverage.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for your listening and dancing enjoyment,
The Wake Up Call with Holloway in London. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Hey, by the way, if you're traveling I-5 this morning southbound, coming into the Eugene-Springfield area, note just in time for Memorial Weekend traffic, they had a whole bunch of stuff that was blocked off this morning just as you come over the McKenzie River on I-5. Again, this is as you're heading southbound. They had all the cones and stuff up there just in time for Memorial travel. Now they get around to actually doing the work out there. So I don't know if the stuff is still up or not, but they still had quite a bit of construction work that was going on. So you're going to run into kind of a bottleneck. At one point, it narrows down to a single lane, and then it widens back up again. But just know that that's the potentiality, unless they pretty much called it at daylight. So other than that, really no slowdowns or anything to pass along to you at this point. As you know, a lot of people take the weekend off a little bit early and get started early on a Friday for the 3-day weekend, which actually for them becomes the 4-day. So speaking of the weekend, a lot of people are going to be outside more so than usual because it is the Memorial Weekend, which is considered to be the kickoff for the summer season. And a lot of people are going to be out in areas where there are skeeters. Yes, mosquitoes. It was actually a Facebook friend mentioned that they had just gotten back from the south, and instead of having a tan, they had, and apparently they counted them, 170-plus mosquito bites, which leads me to believe that somebody needs to go to the store and buy some off. That said, a lot of people are also concerned about mosquito-carried diseases, Zika virus being one of the main ones, West Nile virus, a concern here in Oregon, and now we're even hearing cases of malaria showing up in the United States. To talk a little bit about it, it's Dr. Donald Buckland. He's a regional medical director for U.S. HealthWorks. He's been a practicing clinical occupational medicine therapist for more than 25 years, and he joins us on the Wake Up Call. Doc, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
Okay, so the first things first, how prevalent is malaria here in the U.S., and how prevalent is it becoming?
Well, we don't have the right mosquitoes to give you malaria, except in the very, very south, southern Louisiana, southern Texas, a little bit of Florida. The mosquito is a particular mosquito, and it doesn't live in the north or the central United States.
Well, it doesn't live in those parts of the country yet, or never will live there?
Well, difficult to say never, but we haven't seen a big change in the kinds of mosquitoes in our country in a long time.
Yeah, but we do know that mosquitoes do come in from other countries. And, I mean, one of the examples that was given was they were coming in on ships at one point that were carrying tires and coming into the country. This was about 10 or 15 years ago. But we do know that they get into the country. Do they migrate at all?
By and large, weather keeps them where they're at. Okay. Now, if there's an area of the country that's very favorable to their growth, yes, they can establish population there. But if it's an area that's not to their liking, they just won't spread there. Now, to get this virus, it takes a very specific set of circumstances. You have to have a person with Zika. It has to be within more or less a week of them getting it, so they have virus in their blood. And then the specific kind of Aedes mosquito has to bite them, and then they have to find someone else to bite to give it to.
Okay,
so
are we talking...
if you were living next to somebody, you were living in the same household, and you didn't have mosquitoes in your house, you could not transmit the disease.
Okay, are we talking about Zika or malaria? Because I was talking about malaria, and you said
malaria
Zika.
is the same thing. You have to have the Aedes mosquito and a source of malaria for the mosquito to get it. And we do not have much of that in this country because we lack that particular mosquito, except in the very, very, southern edge of the country.
Okay, but we do have cases where Zika has shown up in the United States that was from here. Am I correct or incorrect?
Yeah, those are imported cases. Those are people who were in Africa or were in Central America or Mexico, and they came back and they were a little ill, and we checked them and they had antibodies from Zika. Now, we don't have anybody that has gotten Zika in this country by being bit by a mosquito, not even one person yet.
Considering the area that the Summer Olympics are going to be in, what are the chances of a number of folks, actually a fairly significant number of folks, bringing Zika back to the United States and becoming more of a concentrated vector?
Well, yes, a lot of people, if they're not careful and they go to the Summer Olympics, they may well be exposed to Zika, okay, because there are large mosquito populations down there, and a high percentage of those mosquitoes, because they're the right kind of mosquito, do have Zika. So, yes, you could well contract Zika in Rio, and if you came back within, say, 11 days of catching it, and we happen to have the right kind of mosquito near you, then yes, you could potentially spread it. But that's a lot of ifs, because people are down there, for a little bit of time, so if they catch Zika, chances are they're not infectious by the time they get back to this country.
Doctor, when you say being careful, what kind of steps are you talking about?
Okay, well, if I was a pregnant woman, I would not go to the Summer Olympics. I would watch them on the television, and that would be the most prudent decision. And that's what the CDC says. You just don't do it. Now, if you're not planning on getting pregnant, well, then Zika really isn't very worrisome. If you happen to catch it, the CDC says 8 weeks after you've caught it, you can even safely get pregnant. So it's only this little window where you can communicate it to your fetus or you can catch it. And if you're not pregnant, it's very little concern.
Going back to the question, as far as just your average Joe going down to Rio or really anywhere where there's going to be a skeeter threat, what repellents are effective? Which ones do you recommend that you have to use these ones?
DEET, D-E-E-T, works very well. There is also mosquito-impregnated, repellent clothing. I think it's promethazine, and that works very well. So if you don't have much skin exposed and you wear mosquito-treated clothing, and maybe do something to chase them away, citronella candle, etc., your chance of getting bit is very limited.
All right. Doc, I appreciate before we go, West Nile is one of them that was brought up. West Nile, probably more of a concern than any of the rest of them, even though the symptoms generally aren't all that bad, correct?
Yeah, for most people, West Nile isn't much of a struggle. For a few people, it can be bad, but for most people, it's not, it's like having a cold. You're achy, you got a headache, you might have a rash, that kind of thing.
All right. Doc, thanks for joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning. We appreciate it.
It's been my pleasure.
All right, you take care. It's News Radio 1120 KPNW. There, can we all feel? Do you feel better now? Do you feel like you're safe? You're protected from Zika and malaria and all the other.
Oh yeah.
Good. Well, I'm feeling much better. He made me feel so much better.
I just hope everybody that goes down to Rio, I guess, doesn't feel safe, so they can be as careful as he was talking about.
Just aside from anything that has to do with mosquitoes, what kind of mess is that whole thing going to turn out to be? Everything that I've read and everything
about the Rio Olympics, this looks like it's going to be a disaster, or could be, of epic proportions. It already has been.
This is true.
I mean, when you talk about, 60,000 plus being displaced so they can, house the Olympics, I mean, people have already lost their homes.
But at least Rio is going to get the Olympics.
Political unrest, cops getting shot. I mean, whoever even put that on the list of potentials should be had a firm talking to.
Well, I think whoever put it on the list of potentials, and from what we've seen, yeah, there was a little bit of palm greasing that went on. It's amazing. It used to be all of that stuff was, at least there was the facade that things were on the up and up. Anymore, it's sort of like it's open knowledge. Oh yeah, it's all a buy off. Everybody's bought and paid for by somebody. I mean, you look at Oregon politics.
What?
The way that Michael Bloomberg comes in, gives Val Hoyle a pig pile of money, and then says, well, thanks for your vote for doing what we asked you to do the last legislative session on gun control. Here's your reward. They don't even try to just, say, oh, we're just doing it because we think Val's doing a wonderful job. No, they just come out and say, thank you for your vote. Here's the money now.
You're wrong. You're wrong about that. She does not take money from big donors. I read it in her voter pamphlet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. She's against big money in politics. I forgot all about that. Oh, did you hear, by the way, she lost? Just curious. I wonder what's next for her. I think that's because, okay, she wanted to be Secretary of State. She had her seat in the House of Representatives. She had created her little power broker money group that was essentially funding females in politics, progressive females in politics. Don't want to get those nasty conservatives elected. And then she thought, oh, I'm going to be, I want to be Secretary of State. Well, she lost that to Brad Avakian. It really makes you wonder where she goes from there. There's an idea. Yeah. Go ahead and say it, Rob, because that's pretty good.
I was just making a business card. You could have future political consultants, a group headed by Ms. Hoyle and Mr. Callahan.
That might be good. Callahan and Hoyle.
Yeah. All right, we got a break. Hour number 2 is coming up. A great game. Maybe not even, you can't even wait for Christmas. You might have to jump out and have a Memorial Day go around if you could get one in your hands that quick. Johnny Cruz, he'll talk about what's going on because we'll have the weather to do stuff in the outdoors. Right now, a little bit of cloud cover, 50 degrees, News Radio 1120 KPNW.
As the days grow warmer, Northwest berries grow plumper and sweeter, and Sherry's celebrates the season with Berry Fest Northwest with the best recipes of the season. Try the fresh berry stuffed cinnamon-sation, summer berry chicken salad, and one-of-a-kind berry pie shakes. Or go berry crazy with Sherry's new berry breakfast cannolis or a slice of our original banana split pie. The days may be getting longer, but your time is growing short, so hurry in and get your berry fix at Sherry's Cafe and Pies.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood, and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm 1 out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Got old house paint products you want to dispose of properly and not sure how? The statewide collection program, Paint Care, collects unused leftover paint, lacquers, sealers, primers, stains, varnishes, and coatings for recycling. Go online to lanecounty.org/paint for a list of locations and instructions. And you can reduce leftover paint by purchasing only what you need. Call Lane County Waste Management at 541-682-4120 for more information. Brought to you by Lane County Public Works and Eugene area radio stations. Ears.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. Aftermarket warranties are a racket of sorts, one with a lot of profit in it. Think about a TV, for instance. They all come with some limited warranty. But do you really want to spend extra money insuring something that you paid $400 or $500 for, and that quite frankly is really reliable? If it's defective, you will probably know it almost immediately, and if it craps out 3 or 4 years from now, most people will just get a new one anyway, because the quality will be a lot higher. Cars are another matter, though. They're almost impossible for most people to work on now, and with more and more electronics, fixing them can be really expensive, because you have to replace whole systems, like a dashboard, that can easily cost several $1,000s. An extreme example is an older Volkswagen Touareg I had that needed new headlights. $1,600 just for the parts. So even though I like the car, I traded it off in a hurry. Here's the nugget. An extended warranty, a form of insurance really, is often warranted for a car. But the point here is that you don't want to insure a risk that you can afford to underwrite yourself. When you do need the extended coverage, be careful though, because it's easy to way overpay. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
Every child needs a place where they can grow up healthy and learn and be safe. And be safe. Every child needs a place to call home. A place where they can play and dream. 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 And plan for their future. Your support can help put a decent roof over the heads of a family like mine. Like mine. Like mine. Like mine. To learn how you can help, visit Habitat.org.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are edging a little higher here in early trading as investors assess the latest economic data. Right now, the Dow is up 24 points at 17,852. The S&P 500 is ahead 3 at 2093, and the Nasdaq is up 6 points at 4907. Crude oil is lower by about 1%. Right now, oil back under $49 a barrel. The U.S. economy is picking up some steam. Gross domestic product in the first quarter rose at an annualized rate of 0.8%. That compares with the 0.5% advance that the government reported last month, although this latest reading was a little bit shy of what analysts had been projecting. Thermo Fisher Scientific is buying FEI for about $4 billion, gaining imaging technology for the life sciences and materials science industries. Shares of FEI are up 13%. And investors today will check in to see what Fed Chair Janet Yellen has to say during an event at Harvard University.
Fox
Gina
News,
Cervetti, Bloomberg
fair and
Radio.
balanced. We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW Eugene Springfield.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony.
We must change our mindset about war itself.
President Obama at Hiroshima, the first sitting U.S. president to visit the site of the first World War II atomic bombing.
A flash of light and a wall of fire. destroyed a city.
He did not apologize, but the president did lay a wreath and called for a moral awakening to pursue a world without nuclear weapons.
Among the many in attendance were survivors of the blast that killed more than 140,000. He was able to hold hands with some of the survivors. Obviously, they are elderly seniors, remembering the devastation of the past, and obviously the great many years since then that these two nations have become not just allies, but truly friends.
Fox's Kevin Cork in Hiroshima, Japan. More vehicles have made that historic Takata airbag recall list. A lot more. Fox's Ginny Cosola has details live.
Dave, the Takata airbag recall is being doubled and could involve another 40 million cars and trucks. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says it could take years to identify and replace all the airbags involved. The models range from Toyota to Chrysler to even Ferrari, among others. The first batch in the new recall involves more than 12 million cars and trucks. Dave?
Ginny, it could be stormy again from Kansas to Texas after damaging tornadoes earlier this week. They got up to 9 inches of rain overnight around Austin, Texas, causing flooding. 5 people were rescued by helicopter from the roof of their home. 2 more are missing. A 15-year-old girl remains missing in California. Pearl Pinson was kidnapped Wednesday, dragged away, screaming.
I just pray that you come home, Pearl. Please, we need you home.
That's her sister, Rose. Pinson's abductor is dead. Tracked down yesterday and then killed in a gunfight with sheriff's deputies after a high-speed car chase. Iowa's Supreme Court has just this morning banned giving juvenile murderers life in prison without parole in a ruling calling it cruel and unusual punishment. Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Hi, I'm Ray from Cut Rate Construction, here to replace your roof.
Okay, and what's that for?
Cutting off shingles. This might leave some holes.
Hi, it's Matt from Pressure Point Roofing, reminding you that when you hire the cheapest contractor, you'll get the cheapest work. We always provide the highest quality work and the best warranties in the industry. See for yourself at PressurePointRoofing.com.
Pressure Point Roofing. We'll see you next time up on the roof.
The Prefontaine Classic on Saturday, May 28th will have more Olympic medalists than any other meet in history.
Prefontaine moving it up. And these people are going crazy for Steve Prefontaine as he moved down the stretch for one of the fastest races of his life.
The stars of the upcoming Rio Olympic Games will be at Hayward Field on Saturday, May 28th.
No doubt about it, Steve Prefontaine, our national AAU champion, and listen to that crowd.
Purchase your tickets at GoDucks.com or 1-800-WEBFOOT.
15.
A little bit of a gain on Wall Street before the long holiday weekend. Fox Business Network's Nicole Petalides live at the New York Stock Exchange.
Dave, right now we're seeing the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 25 points up to our latest gross domestic product report. We're at 17,854. The Nasdaq up 15. The S&P 500 up 5. We also have the group of 7 industrial powers, the leaders meeting in Japan, pledging to seek global growth. We have winners such as Big Lots. Also, Ulta Salon Cosmetics is a winner, and Deckers, that is the parent of UGG boots and Sanuk sandals. On the downside, GameStop was a miss in its quarterly profit, and that's down about 5%. The winners on the Dow, Nike, Disney, Merck, and United Health. Have a great weekend, Dave.
Thank you, Nicole. You too. The economy barely grew to start the year. The government has increased the GDP growth, though, to 0.8% from the 0.5% earlier estimated. The price of oil is down about 70 cents. It's back below $49 a barrel as gas inches up. AAA's national average for regular is $2.32 a gallon, which is about 30 cents cheaper than what we were paying at the pump traveling on Memorial Day weekend a year ago. More athletes have been caught up in Olympic doping.
23 athletes testing positive for performance-enhancing substances, according to the International Olympic Committee, in a retesting of samples from the London Olympics in 2012. Those caught are said to come from 6 countries and compete in 5 sports, and all were expected to compete at this year's Olympics in Rio. For legal reasons, they're not being named yet, with secondary tests to follow. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
The Warriors are not done yet.
Shot clock to 5. Here's Curry. Yes!
Stephen Curry scored 31 points as Golden State took Game 5 of the NBA Western Conference Finals, beating Oklahoma City 120-111 on TNT. But the Thunder are still up 3-2, 1 win away from eliminating the team that won a record 73 regular season games. In hockey, Pittsburgh beat Tampa Bay to advance to the Stanley Cup Final, playing San Jose next. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Radio 1120 KPNW 705. Cloud cover today with some sunshine making an appearance. 65 for the high. Partly cloudy and 42. Welcome to a Friday show. Sunny and 73 tomorrow. Now they're saying 75 for Sunday. The updated, instead of 88 degrees, they're talking about 78. They always kind of fool you with that extended forecast, and then when you get closer, you're like, okay, here's what it really is going to be like. Currently, 51 degrees at News Radio 1120 KPNW. All right, in honor of the spelling bee, if you would like to win tickets for the pre, we got tickets. And if you would like to go, we'll give you a shot at correctly spelling a word. It's not going to be crazy difficult scripts word like they come up with, but we'll come up with a word. If you want to go to the pre, 541-485 KPNW, 888 KPNW, 888. We'll give you one shot at correctly spelling the word, and if you do so, then it's a pretty easy word, pretty basic, probably a word that you could even find yourself using in any message or communication today. If you want to go to the pre-classic happening tomorrow for a jam-packed about 2.5 hours, it is one thing after the other. They do. I mean, it's amazing, the schedule. It's like a 3-ring track meet instead of the circus. 541-485 KPNW if you want to go, and you don't have to go if you want to give your tickets to somebody else. We won't know. Pre-tickets right now on the line at 7:07. As we're waiting, as our producer is talking to our contestants out there, you want to tease what we got coming up with the news?
Sure. We'll have these stories coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll take a look at a couple of Memorial Day issues, your weather, and the state police who are going to be out en masse looking for folks. Also, the frat from the University of Oregon campus that they weren't the only ones involved in it, but they're the only ones taking at least responsibility for the destruction on Long Lake Shasta, are saying, well, we're going to do something for restitution. We'll kind of tell you what their rough plan is. We'll have those stories and more coming up here on News Radio 1120 KPNW, brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones.
Pre-tickets up for grabs. We have our contestant standing by, and that is you. What is your name?
Hello?
You didn't hear the direction to turn on your radio. Hello? Goodbye. KPNW, who is this?
Hello?
Hi, this is Dan.
Hi, Dan. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
All right.
All right, tickets up for grabs for the pre. All we need for you to spell is embarrass. Correctly spell the word embarrass.
Embarrass. A-R-R-A-S.
All right, start again because you might have cut out for a letter there.
E-M-B-A-R-R-A-S.
Is incorrect. Thanks for trying, though. Ooh, we got a couple words here that not incredibly difficult. Just one of those, like, kind of, for example, weird. A lot of people spell it W-I-E-R-D.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not difficult words. But if you want to give a shot, Dan could not come through. Tickets for the pre this weekend at Hayward Field still up for grabs. Give us a call. 541-485 KPNW News coming up.
Burrito Amigos really does do things differently. Hi, I'm Bill London, bacon addict. One of the first things I noticed about Burrito Amigos bacon burritos is that they use not one, but 2 types of bacon. Nicely played, burrito friends. Their beef, not the usual cheap cuts, cooked forever to make it sort of tender except for the surprise gristle wads. Burrito Amigos uses real certified tender black Angus beef, the kinds you find at expensive steakhouses. That's different. The fish burritos, real cod. The taco salad's huge. Burrito Amigo's menu is even different. You'll find your favorite burritos, enchiladas, tamales, and quesadillas there, but where else are you going to find yummy tacos made with yams and a spicy guacamole sauce that's different from anything you've ever tried? They even have potato tacos, which are delicious. How many burrito places even have a vegetarian menu, let alone tofu items? Burrito Amigos, happy to be different. In Eugene and Springfield, I'm Bill London, happy to vouch for the bacon and the yummy tacos.
Ramjack has your foundation solution. Ramjack can fix that. CCB 146906.
Each franchise independently owned and operated. Offer good on selected Signature Series product at participating franchises only. Some restrictions may apply. Ask for details.
They say that love's a compromise.
But not this time.
She wanted a beautiful home.
He wanted an energy-efficient home.
So what brought us together?
Budget Blinds. Budget Blinds has an incredible selection of beautiful window coverings.
And Budget Blinds offers multiple energy-saving designs.
They look gorgeous.
And they keep rooms warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
It's a perfect marriage.
I'll say.
Right now is the time to save during Budget Blinds Spring Style Event. Now get up to a $250 rebate on energy-efficient window coverings at Budget Blinds. Plus, Budget Blinds sends a style consultant right to your door with swatches, styles, and ideas for free. And they do all the measuring and installation. You don't lift a finger. Call Budget Blinds today for your free in-home consultation. Then qualify for up to a $250 rebate during Budget Blinds Spring Style Event. Going on now. Call 1-800-610-2717. That's 1-800-610-2717. 1-800-610-2717.
It's the big happenings in the Valley and the state. This is the Wake Up Call on 1120 KPNW with Bill London.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee. For a tasty start to your morning, here's what's going on. Well, after public shaming on a national level, a U of O frat is figuring out how to make restitution over last weekend's bacchanalia of destruction at Lake Shasta. The Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity is the only Grieve Life organization from the University of Oregon to step up and take responsibility for the massive drug and alcohol-fueled party that left a half-mile path of trash and destruction at the California lake. Yesterday, the U.S. Forest Service claimed the area was also a biohazard and was covered with human feces, used condoms, and other biohazards. Pictures of the mess have gone viral. The story made the national news. Lambda Chi says their plan will include education and awareness of environmental issues, as well as the establishment of a philanthropy event. In addition, this coming week, they're planning a community restitution service trip to the Shasta area. A total of 18 frats and 12 sororities are a part of the planning process. They're hoping for a campus-wide response. Memorial Day weekend is pretty much here, and the weather going into the holiday, at least for the first part, is going to be on the cloudy side in the Eugene area.
So we have some showers around for the next couple days with the area low pressure that's kind of been stubborn over the Pacific Northwest. But the showers are going to be few and far between. Looks like the best chance of a little bit of rain will be tonight and tomorrow morning.
Sean Weigel is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service and says the tail end of the weekend is showing promise.
Sunday and Monday, looks like higher pressure is going to come in. And probably resulting in a fairly nice tail end to the holiday weekend with temperatures pushing up into the 70s and possibly plenty of sunshine on Monday.
And that's Oregon for you. A weekend, holiday, and a little bit of rain. At least Monday is going to be nice. Travel over Memorial Weekend is expected to be at its highest level since 2005. Brad Ford says police are planning extra patrols.
Oregon State Police will have extra troopers watching the freeways and highways. Captain Bill Fugate says drivers need to be prepared, which includes getting plenty of sleep before hitting the road.
Fatigue driving is always a concern, as well as impaired driving, distracted driving.
You can also reduce your stress behind the wheel if you leave on time, and be realistic with how long the trip will take.
Take their time during their travels. There's a lot more traffic out there during this holiday weekend, so it's going to take longer, and just asking for some patience.
Before you leave, go to tripcheck.com to see if there's construction or traffic problems that'll affect your route. Brad Ford, KPNW.
9 Oregon counties have agreed to sue Governor Kate Brown and Labor Commissioner Brad Avakian over the state's 2015 paid sick leave law, seeking permission to opt out of the measure on the grounds that it's an unfunded mandate.
The claim, led by Lynn County's Board of Commissioners, is set to be filed today in Lynn County Circuit Court. And notably, it's not asking for money or damages. That's according to Roger Nyquist, Lynn County chairman and leader of the effort. Rather, the claim hopes to stake out a new legal ground in Oregon by testing for the very first time a 1996 constitutional amendment that requires lawmakers to reimburse local governments when new programs win approval without supermajority support. The outcome could shape a similar fight on July 1st over legislation this year that will increase Oregon's minimum wage. Besides Lynn, Yamhill, Douglas, Jefferson, Malheur, Polk, Sherman, Morrow, and Wallowa counties have also agreed to participate. Combined, the 9 counties roughly represent about 500,000 Oregonians. Documents say the Portland police chief, who was put on leave after revelations he may have lied about accidentally shooting a friend in the back during a hunting trip, reeked of alcohol during an interview afterwards. A sheriff's deputy said in an Oregon Fish and Wildlife report that Larry O'Day also seemed nervous and he had bloodshot eyes after the April 21st shooting. O'Day told deputies at the scene that the victim accidentally shot himself, but 4 days later, he told the mayor of Portland that he accidentally shot his friend with a .22 caliber rifle. The chief stepped aside this week after multiple agencies launched investigations. They began a month after the shooting when officials discovered O'Day was involved. Portland police said O'Day is not going to be available for comment. 8 western states have proclaimed the need for wildfire awareness, and Brad Ford says Oregon is one of them.
To take steps to better prepare our communities and homes for wildfires, Oregon is joining Washington, Nevada, California, Idaho, Utah, Montana, and South Dakota in the proclamation signed by each governor. Chris Babbs with Keep Oregon Green says 2015 was a record-breaking wildfire season for Oregon.
1,400 fires on federal and state lands, and we spent $82 million to suppress those fires.
This year's wildfire season is predicted to pose a substantial threat across Oregon. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
A Portland defense attorney has been arrested on suspicion of heroin and methamphetamine possession. Jeffrey Milstein was arrested at the Clackamas County Courthouse. Court records say that the accusations against Milstein stem from a May 16th incident at the Chinook Winds Casino in Lincoln City. Apparently, police arrested Milstein, a woman, and another man inside the car smoking drugs. Police say they later found methamphetamine pipes, a glob of heroin, and other drug paraphernalia inside the vehicle. Court records say Milstein, his 28-year-old client, Brock Kellen, and 30-year-old Candace Gooch were indicted on possession of meth and heroin charges. Kellen and Gooch were arrested previously. Milstein has been a member of the Oregon State Bar since 2008. A Corvallis man's going to be spending 25 years in prison for raping a 9-year-old girl. 37-year-old Jose Carlos Perez Cardenas was arrested sentenced yesterday in Benton County Circuit Court. The crime took place in December of 2014, and the victim, now 10, made a statement to Perez Cardenas. She said she's still scared most of the time, and she feels she can't be happy in life again. Perez Cardenas, speaking through an interpreter, said he wanted a new lawyer. He also asked for a suspended sentence and probation. The judge denied both counts. Severe thunderstorms are hitting much of central Texas and dropping at least one powerful tornado. Residents in the Bryan College Station area are picking up the pieces from a twister that plowed through their neighborhood.
I didn't even know that there was a tornado until I got here, and then I had no roof on top of my living room.
That's Bryan resident Patty Ponzio. Her family lost their home of 29 years to the tornado. The city's fire officials are reporting at least 3 homes were destroyed. 60 more are damaged. Other parts of Texas saw widespread street and road flooding. There's no immediate reports, fortunately, of deaths or injuries in this latest round of severe weather. Well, a Frontier Airlines flight from Denver to Portland never made it off the runway because of a screaming woman. Brad Ford has that story.
I don't believe it! I don't believe it!
The woman started acting out when the plane pulled away from the terminal and started taxiing. The man who uploaded the video didn't want to be identified, but tells Fox 31 in Denver that she was acting strange before boarding the flight.
Her behaviors were real erratic, up and down, crying and laughing and then crying. And,
even before she got on the plane?
Correct.
She laid on the floor near the cockpit, kicking and screaming, and then took off all of her clothes.
There was no clothes, not even socks.
The pilots returned to the terminal, and the woman was removed by police. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
It's 7:20. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Still kind of hard to believe and to fathom that Golden State, the Warriors, the defending NBA champs, the team that just rung up 73 wins in the regular season, those same Warriors have their backs against the wall, down 3-1 entering into last night's game. Warriors needed the usual confidence and flair and got a bit of it back, mustering up a win, 120-111. Steph Curry hit a couple of threes, but it was Andrew Bogut stepped up with 15 points, 14 rebounds, 30 minutes. Series now tied 3-2 in favor of the Thunder. And they can close it out Game 6 at home. Blazer point guard Damian Lillard named to the All-NBA second team, one of the two reasons the Blazers won 44 games and made it to the second round of the playoffs. Damian, All-NBA for the second time in his career, even though this season he failed to make the All-Star team. It appears that Baylor is going to fire head coach Art Briles for countless alleged sexual violence that not only went unacknowledged, but there are stories that coaches even got involved with victims to quiet their accusations. In the last 5 years, Briles won 50 games and 2 Big 12 conference championships. Unbelievable that he would allow this to happen in his program. And then this happened last night.
Feldenkrais. F-E-L-D-E-N-K.
Yeah. R-A-I-S, Feldenkrais. Who doesn't know how to spell that? At the Scripps National Spelling Bee, Nihar Janga and Jerem Hathwar shared the title. And in about 20 seconds, the Oregon Ducks are getting ready to tee off at the NCAA Championships, the men's golf Division I, happening at the Eugene Country Club starting today. Ducks on the first tee. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle. Stop in and check out the new additions to the Max Pro Protein Powder lineup. Chocolate malt, blueberry, and strawberry banana across from Market of Choice on Franklin in Eugene. News time 7:22.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. We've got partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy due to the marine layer out there. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s and light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10, as well as a little bit of light coastal drizzle. Now, as we move through the day, we'll see partly cloudy skies move in this afternoon. See this cloud deck start to break up. That'll allow things to warm up a bit, back into the mid-60s to a couple of low 70s. I also expect winds to pick up in the afternoon out of the northwest at 10 to 15, a few gusts of 20. There's good news in the forecast, though. We are tracking a ridge of high pressure set to move in Saturday into your Sunday for the holiday weekend and then sit over the Pacific Northwest for several days, bringing sunshine. And by the time we get to the middle to late part of next week, temps are going to be back into the mid-80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center. Hoping you have a great day.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, brought to you by Builders Electric, providing smart electrical service since 1960. Since I told you in a previous Motivational Minute that sometimes in life you are all teachers, someone sent me a different definition of a teacher. And having spent many years in education, I got a big chuckle when I read it and thought back to those many former students I had. The statement was this: a teacher's job is to take a room full of live wires and try to ground them. That was sure true for some of my classes, but I think it's probably true for all of you parents and grandparents also. Sometimes you have to ground those little live wires of yours before you can teach them anything. Good luck trying to ground them also. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a positive day.
Today's Motivational Minute was sponsored by Builders Electric, voted the Register Guard's 2015 Reader's Choice #1 electrical contractor, providing positive service for over 55 years. That's Builders Electric, CCB 4296.
Warmer weather is coming. You may be ready, but is your vehicle? Midlane Truck and Equipment Repair can perform a complete inspection of your cooling and air conditioning system to ensure you and your vehicle stay cool when it gets hot out. Offering bumper-to-bumper service and repair on trucks, RVs, autos, and trailers, including general maintenance, in-frame overhauls, welding, fabricating, liftgate, and reefer repair. Call Midlane Truck and Equipment Repair now to beat the heat.
Is your body getting enough protein every day? Try Max Pro at Max Muscle. These protein shakes are packed with protein, very low carbs, and zero sugar. Chocolate malt, strawberry banana smoothie, blueberry, and more. Max Muscle. Try it before you buy it. Franklin Boulevard, across the Market of Choice.
Endurance, speed, and power of elite student athletes will be on display. The sights, the sounds, the intensity of an NCAA championship. It all comes down to this moment. Time to lay it all on the line. Be there to share the experience with your family and friends. The 2016 NCAA Division I Men's and Women's Outdoor Track and Field Championships, June 8th through the 11th at historic Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon. Visit ncaa.com/track and field to secure your championship tickets today.
Sponsored by T-Mobile. Switch to the Un-carrier today. T-Mobile.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is my profound pleasure to introduce
The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW 725. This Friday morning, getting into the Memorial Weekend. Traffic still moving pretty smoothly out there this morning. Fingers crossed that remains the case throughout the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. Well, one of the things that's always entertaining about the political season is that there's always folks out there willing to create a variety of different parodies of everything from playing cards to, in this case, the game of Monopoly. Joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning, his name is John Elliott. He's the CEO of Diogenes Games, and he joins us on the Wake Up Call. John, thanks for being with us this morning.
Great to be here.
So where on the East Coast do you call home?
From Pennsylvania. So I split my time between Philadelphia and Erie, Pennsylvania, and it's a beautiful day here today.
All right. Why Diogenes as a name for a game company? Why named after the Greek cynic?
Well, because I think he shows the way, to that cynical and insightful view. He has certainly had a questioning mind when it comes to establishment, and I think that's very appropriate in 2016.
All right. How long has Diogenes Games been around?
Oh, about 3 weeks.
Oh, really? What? So before you created Diogenes Games, what were you doing before that?
Well, I'm still very involved in industrial finance, natural gas industry. So, there's a group of us that are engineers, artists, writers, lawyers, and the group of friends put this company together when this idea was born. So it's an entrepreneurial startup.
Okay. So the game itself is a takeoff of Monopoly, and it's called Socialism. And essentially you play it with a Monopoly an actual Monopoly board, right?
That's right. It's essentially an unofficial expansion of Hasbro's classic real estate trading game.
Okay, and you mentioned early on that your group, also includes some lawyers. I'm assuming that the lawyers vetted this and said, yeah, you can do this, but you have to at least jump through a couple of hoops. What would that be?
Well, we've jumped through those hoops, and, it's an add-on. So if you don't have a Monopoly board game, you need to go buy one, and then you put socialism with it, and it comes with a brand-new rule book, a quick reference card, a new set of chance and community chess cards, which we now call Fat Chance and Communism Chess, and it replaces some of the tokens. So what we have is essentially an add-on to the classic Monopoly game, and what it's done is it's brought populist and socialist themes from the 2016 election into that capitalist world of Monopoly.
John, I'm curious, what did you either see or say that made you think, okay, we got to put this game together?
Well, I think 3 or 4 of us started talking about this and laughing, and after 2 or 3 hours, we said this is too good not to follow through on. So it was a real fun trip putting this together over the last couple of months, and there's been no shortage of good material coming out of these campaigns. So we just kept watching and listening and kept on writing, and Socialism the Game was born.
Okay, so one of the changes is that there's no banker anymore in the game. Is that correct?
Oh, that's right. The banks and bankers have been regulated out of existence, and we now do all of our transaction with the Federal Directorate of Redistribution, which is appropriately abbreviated the FDR.
Okay, and what you mentioned some of the cards, for instance. You've got Fat Chance, Communism Chest. Is it the same thing with Monopoly, where you're buying houses, putting it on property, or not?
Oh, yeah, you move around the board the same way you would in a traditional Monopoly game, but the rules start changing pretty quick. When you pass go, you don't just collect $200, you pay another $100 in taxes. And when you start picking up those old chance cards, and now you got a Fat Chance card, you're going to find yourself advancing to Illinois Avenue and contributing $50 to the Obama Presidential Library Fund, or you're going to find yourself subject to eminent domain actions by the government. All of these things, and then public housing projects, hotels, they're out. It's only public housing towers now. And so what happens is the old bank, actually now the FDR, becomes very quickly the most powerful player in the game, and it's not over when one person controls everything. It's over when everybody has $300. So it's really a race to the bottom. It's a race to the bottom, and we all achieve equality in our dependence on the government. That's how it ends. So that's a spoiler alert. That's how it ends.
Where everyone has $300.
Yeah, everybody ends up with $300. So we're play testing this with a bunch of neighbor kids, including my son, who's 9. He loves Monopoly. And he says, "Dad, your game is a killer wedgie. I'm tired of running out of money." So, this thing is jokes from top to bottom. It is so much fun.
Okay, so for folks that you started a Kickstarter account as well, and you've had a number of people that have invested in this. When are you actually going to have games going out, the expansion going out on the market? When is it?
We're going to start delivery in the middle of June. So everything is under development right now. So the plastic parts molds are under construction today. All of the artwork is well underway. The printers are being lined up. So middle of June, we're going to start shipping.
Where can people get this? Where can they sign up?
Okay, so today you want to go to the Kickstarter campaign for Socialism the Game, and there are still some of those early bird $15 games available right now. But even after the Kickstarter is over, you can go right to socialismgame.com, and you'll be able to order directly from there, along with socialism T-shirts, socialism mugs. It's all going to be on there. The socialism store, we like to say there's not much there, but it's going to be worth the wait, just like the old bread lines.
John, there's so many people that are listening right now, even two in this room, that come up with ideas and never carry them out. For somebody that maybe, you yourself who's done that, is there anything that you can give as far as advice to getting things like this from planned stage to actualized, this is going to happen?
Yeah. I've started several different companies, and I'm an entrepreneur at heart. The number one rule is you work with the right people. Number one, maybe it's the first and last rule. Always work with the right people. You got to work with people you like, and you got to work with really bright people. So when I had this group of friends that are all really intelligent, a lot of fun, this thing came together so fast. It was awesome. So, it was a real pleasure, and it's so much fun. So if you're thinking about doing something entrepreneurial like this, you got to be with the right people. Absolutely.
Good advice. Definitely good advice, John. Good luck with the game. It sounds like an absolute hoot. We'd like to get our hands on one because we think that a go around with some staffers and Tommy, the 12-year-old, who is one of our political analysts here, would be just a kick.
We would love to send you a couple boxes. So watch your mailbox here later in June. We'll send you some.
All right, sounds good. John, good luck with the game.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us on the Wake Up Call.
Thanks. If I can conclude with the same thing we say on our Kickstarter campaign, please fund socialism today. That is the bottom line. We need more people funding socialism.
Great. John, it was a pleasure talking to you. Seriously, good luck with the game. We'll look forward to seeing it in the mail in a couple of weeks. You take care.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, you too.
Talk soon. Bye.
John Elliott on the Wake Up Call. I love it. That's good stuff. Please fund socialism today. All right.
By the way,
yeah. Did we get a winner for
we did not get a winner. We had several incorrect tries, and it wasn't all the word embarrass. If you are curious about going to the pre-classic top 3 invitational event, the longest running outdoor invitational track and field event in the country, if you would like to go, 541-45-KPNW, 888-KPNW, 888.
This is going to be broadcast on CBS or NBC? Because it's always televised every year. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure NBC.
Is it NBC?
Yeah.
This is, it's a major, huge deal.
Yeah.
It's a great television event, by the way, if you're not going to be out there. But if you can go live, why wouldn't you?
Live is always better, I think. And especially a track event here in Eugene.
At Hayward?
Yeah, no kidding. KPNW, good morning. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Rhonda.
Hi, Rhonda.
Rhonda, where are you calling from?
Eugene, a great Prefontaine classic fan. Many years of going, yeah.
Have you tried yet today? Is this your first go-around?
First time.
Okay. In honor of the spelling bee, the script spelling bee, we're spelling words today. And you think you're ready?
I know.
If you could spell the word necessary, we'd love you to do that for the tickets.
Okay. Necessary.
Ooh, no, you got it.
Good.
Thankfully. Hang on one second. Don't go anywhere. KPNW, good morning. Can you turn down your radio, please?
Yeah, I just did that, yes.
Okay. Who are you?
My name's Rodney Cooper.
Rodney Cooper?
Yes.
Wow. Great to have you on the show here, Rodney. All right, so you know what we're doing today? We're spelling words for pre-tickets. You think you're up for it?
I think so.
Okay. If you could spell the word accommodate.
Accommodate?
Yeah.
Okay. ACCOMIDATE. Accommodate.
Ooh, no. Kind of close, but a little bit far. And
you went sideways.
Yeah, but fine.
All right, take care.
All right, we got more tickets to give out. Don't go anywhere. 7:37, Johnny Cruz coming up, talking about the Oregon Outdoors next on 1120 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are moving cautiously higher. The Dow up 25 points, the Nasdaq up 20, and the S&P up 4. The economy showed improvement in the first quarter, but it isn't out of the woods. The second estimate of GDP showed a rise of 0.8%, up from the 0.5% originally announced, but the change was still a bit below expectations. An inflation gauge in the report was unchanged at an annual rate of 2.1%. If your morning coffee soon doesn't taste as good, blame the weather in Brazil. Heavy rains are threatening the quality of this year's harvest. A coffee broker says so far the cup quality of the new crop is fairly good, but it can get damaged by the rain. There have been a lot of reports on how antibiotics given to cattle can have far-reaching effects. Now an international team of scientists has published a study that highlights just how far that could be. The Royal Society researcher says when cattle were fed a common antibiotic, there was more global warming gas in their manure. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg Radio.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
Gun Runner Arms in Junction City is the fastest growing gun shop in the valley. Gun Runner Arms believes in the power of low prices. 223 ammos, only 37 cents a round. The Ruger LC9S is the perfect concealed carry 9mm, and they're 10% off at Gun Runner Arms while supplies last. Gun Runner Arms is the valley's ammo reloading center. Save on RCBS and Lee reloaders and Dillon Progressive reloaders. Plus, if Gun Runners doesn't have the gun you want, you can do special orders in person or online at gunrunnerarms.com. Gun Runner Arms at the intersection of Highway 99 and 36 in Junction City.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood, and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm 1 out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger.
Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help.
Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much, for taking me out to the park, for reading me books, for taking me to the doctor when I broke my foot in ballet rehearsal,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear Mom, for having the chance to take you to the park, for reading you those books we enjoy so much, for being able to take you to your therapies after you twisted your ankle, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. And in your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one. Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP. We help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes or you're already out and about, we are looking at mostly cloudy skies, but I expect them to become partly cloudy fairly quickly. Temps right now are in the upper 40s to low 50s with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. Once again, today we're looking at a deep marine layer coming off of the water. That's where the clouds have been coming from the last few days with winds out of the northwest. By this afternoon, they should start to thin out, and that leads to partly cloudy skies. That means it'll be a little bit warmer with highs in the mid to upper 60s with a few low 70s. I also expect winds to pick up in the afternoon out of the northwest at 10 to 15 with a few gusts of 20. But there's some good news in the forecast. We're expecting high pressure to start to move in Saturday night into your Sunday, and then several days after that right through the holiday that are mostly sunny, and by the time we get to the middle of next week, temps will be back in the mid to low 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
All right, you still have time to have the most restful Memorial weekend that you've had in your life. And not just this weekend, but every weekend here on out by heading into Sleep Train. That's right, hop aboard the Sleep Train. We're going to Dreamland. That's lame. Anyway, Sleep Train, they've got the big mattress price wars going on where the different mattress makers slap each other around trying to figure out who's going to have the lowest price so that they can sell the most mattresses. It's sort of like a little inter-office rivalry that has gotten ugly, where they're willing to take a loss just because they want to get a Posturepedic in somebody's house, or a Tempur-Pedic, or a Stearns & Foster, or a Vera Wang. And I just mentioned Vera Wang because it's fun to say. Wang. So head on down to Sleep Train. Do it today. Save some money. You could have, if you pick up a mattress by 2 o'clock today and they've got it in stock, it could be in your bedroom tonight. They will hand deliver it. They'll take your old mattress and deal with it, and you'll be looking at a brand spanking new mattress to roll around on and go, tonight.
Do it after you fund socialism.
Yeah.
Check out Mattress Price Wars going on now. The same-day delivery, all the good things you find at only Sleep Train in Eugene, Springfield, Corvallis, and Salem. And tell them you're like this. like this with the wake-up call. Your ticket to a better night's sleep.
We have a nice cast on the show, ladies and gentlemen, that consists of
Holloway in London. The Wake Up Call. Wake Up Call. News Radio 1120. KPNW.
Well, we used to be able to say that he was a manly policeman, that he was out there chasing down meth addicts, tackling them, throwing them in the back of a squad car and hauling them off for a little bit of justice. Now he's retired and he sits around with old people talking about his aches and pains and parts that are falling off. Kind of like Rob.
Yeah, let's get together, start a club.
Yeah. Maybe start your own softball team. Yeah. Anyway, he joins us from Wenatchee, Washington. It is the host of Northwestern Outdoors, soon to be the host of America Outdoors. It is our very own John Cruz. John, welcome back to the show. John, welcome back to the...
I'm here. I'm here.
Go ahead.
And
you started
retirement is agreeing with me. Thank you.
All right. Glad to see it. Are you sitting around with a lot of old folks talking about, oh, I've got this bursitis, my gout.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Good for you. All right. So, when am I going to start airing your new show?
June 4th. And we've got the first one ready to go. So, kind of exciting. It's almost like, pardon me to all the ladies that are going to be offended by this, because I shouldn't even use this analogy, but it's almost like having a child. You're just so excited about this sort of thing. So the first show's ready to go. We've got great guests. It's just here. It's like, wow, we've been talking about it a long time, and now it's ready to go.
John, not just any show. I mean, talk about the significance of this show.
Well, we're actually starting in a much bigger way than we started the last show. So we're going to start airing on 22 stations in 5 states.
Worldwide?
Well, I wouldn't go worldwide, but at least, we have a Northwest footprint a little bit beyond.
So what's the furthest station away from where you're located up in Wenatchee or from the Pacific Northwest? I mean, do you have any that are like New Jersey, anything?
No.
What's the furthest one?
We've got Eureka, California. We've got Anaconda, Montana. We've got St. Mary's, Idaho, and a whole bunch in Oregon and Washington.
Anaconda.
Anaconda.
So the cool part about this is, unlike Northwestern Outdoors, which I'm assuming you're going to continue doing, correct?
Oh, absolutely. We'll never give that up.
Okay, so the cool part of it is, I mean, you're actually you're going on a satellite channel with this.
I know. So it turns out satellite time has become much more affordable to the point where, even people like me who have a self-syndicated show can actually afford it. That was never true before, but these days you could actually purchase satellite time on a weekly basis, and it's doable, and that should help us expand quite a bit.
John, out of curiosity, you got 2 shows. Is there going to be a lot of crossover, or are you going to have fresh content for both broadcasts?
Nope, fresh content from both, because several of our stations, including KPNW, are going to be carrying both shows, and the listeners don't want to hear the same thing, so it's going to be completely independent from each other.
That's a lot of work for you.
Well, yes and no. I mean, look at it this way. I'm putting together 2 hours of radio. How many hours do you two put together every week?
Not nearly as much, some would say. Seriously.
Is this one of those pregnant pauses?
Yeah. No, seriously. People would say, about 5 minutes. Anyway, well, it's very cool that you've got this kind of expanding horizon for you. Good on you. And, of course, we'll be running it here on KPNW on Sunday mornings. We've been rerunning Northwestern Outdoors, which, by the way, runs 6 to 7 o'clock every Saturday morning on KPNW. Your new show, we will be running on Sunday mornings from 8 to 9. We have been running a repeat of your Northwestern show there for the last, couple of months or so as kind of a placeholder, but we're more than happy to give you a spot for it, and looking forward to hearing the show, John. Good on you.
Well, I'm very grateful you're going to carry it. And, by the way, you're the first station to pick it up.
I know.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. KPNW, very first station to pick up the show.
Yep. That was us.
I think we heard that agreement on the radio, too.
Yeah, we did. I figured I'd prime the pump for you. I think, it's much easier to get tips if somebody's already thrown a 5 in the bucket.
That's true.
It's always
Don't give yourself credit.
It's always easier to get
tip.
So I figured that by just saying that, okay, you can go out and say that we picked it up, and it would prime the pump for you. So anyway, and it's good that Anaconda, Montana has followed suit. Anyway, where the hell is Anaconda, Montana? I've never heard of Anaconda, Montana. Do they even have a town there?
They do have a town there. They have a charming little town. It's close to the big copper mines of Butte.
You've actually been there?
Anaconda?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been to Butte, and I tend to drive right past Butte whenever I can because, to be honest, it's not a very nice-looking town. Anaconda, good. Butte, not so much.
Okay.
It probably,
unless you like open mining operations.
The radio station in Anaconda probably feeds into Butte, so I probably wouldn't bring that up, that attitude, on your show.
I tend not to bring it up. Of course, there's probably... The programming director is probably in Eugene right now, just tuning into this. I'm about to lose that station. But,
right. He's probably here getting drunk, because that's what they do in Anaconda. They come down to Eugene to do their drinking. Anyway, that said, well, what's going on this weekend that we can do around the Eugene-Springfield area that would be, but before we get into that, what do you have on the show? What's on Northwestern Outdoors?
Well, we've actually got a really special Memorial Day weekend edition. So we tend to go ahead and build Veterans Day and Memorial Days shows about our veterans, and we're doing that as well. So we're talking to a guy named Jeff Mason. He's the founder of a very small nonprofit called Fishing for Heroes. And it turns out a lot of soldiers who come back from Afghanistan and Iraq who have been injured, they go there and they're basically getting medical treatment, and they have tons of downtime as they're waiting between appointments. So he actually goes to the base and he takes these guys fishing as a way of helping them through this downtime and helping them heal. So that's pretty cool. We're also talking to a group called Heroes on the Water. And they not only take people fishing, they take people kayaking, too. And they have chapters nationwide to include the Tacoma area and also in Portland. And then we're talking to a couple of vets who are also fishermen and guides.
All right. Things to do this weekend. What's going to be, what are the big news items for folks that want to get out and do something this Memorial weekend?
Well, spring Chinook fishing is in full swing. The lower Columbia is open again. It's going to stay that way at least through June 15th, it looks like. And then we transition right into summer Chinook. So good time to hit the Columbia. You can also find spring Chinook right now in the North Umpqua, the Rogue, the Santiam, quite a few other rivers. I mean, this is really prime time to go spring Chinook fishing. Turkey season closes on the 31st, so if you haven't gotten your gobbler yet, you probably better do so in a hurry because you don't have too many days. And if you just want to get away from the crowds, which is hard to do Memorial Day weekend, here's what I say. Go to the city. Everyone's leaving town, so you go to town. I found that hotels tend to be cheap and rooms are available. One place you might want to consider, Portland. Go to the Kimpton Inn. It's right on the river. They've got bicycle, not rentals. They just give you bicycles to use, and you can pedal along and over the Willamette River. You can go hike in Forest Park, which is like 5,100 acres right in Portland, or check out the wildlife at Tualatin National Wildlife Refuge.
What was the name of the hotel?
We stayed at the Kimpton Inn and love that place. It's a boutique hotel. It's absolutely wonderful. And this is just for you, Bill. They have a manager's reception in the afternoon where there's free beer.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't like free beer.
Yeah, Rob doesn't like the free beer. Yeah. Bill likes the free beer. I've never heard of the Tualatin National Wildlife Refuge. Have you ever heard of it, Rob?
No.
What do they have there? Anything? I mean, anything worth seeing? They got elephants. They got giraffes. What do they have?
They got some ducks.
Oh, well.
They have ducks and birds. If you're a bird watcher, the Tualatin National Wildlife Refuge may be of interest.
Yeah, because you can't see ducks here in Eugene. They're nowhere to be found.
None.
You will never see a duck down here.
Ponds, none at Fern Ridge.
No.
And certainly not on the shores of Lake Shasta.
Absolutely not. I don't think anything is living on the shores of Lake Shasta. It's nice to know that story has gotten all the way up to Wenatchee.
Oh, let's just say those kids are going to probably be inductees on our Trail of Shame for our new show. Let's put it that way.
Yes! Yes! So is there any way that you can't, because you've already done the show for the next weekend. You've already got it. So we're not going to, so you can't go back and change it and put them in for your first one, make it the University of Oregon in your inaugural show.
No. We have some special young men from Vancouver, BC, who are in our first show, but our second show, I think we're in the running for to be the second inductees into the Trail of Shame.
Amazing. Yeah, that is a story that has garnered a lot of local attention too, not just the national stuff, but I mean it's been a daily thing with more bits and pieces of it that dribble out. Pardon the expression. So, not a good thing.
You should have the fraternity on your show. Ask them some questions.
They're not returning calls.
Really?
No. No, they're not returning calls.
You can always do man-on-the-street interviews. Just go stand right outside the frat house and just stick a microphone in their face and ask them how they feel about the situation.
How do you feel about the... Okay, now don't get me going on this one, because this is...
All right, I'll stop pushing buttons. I promise.
Well, after yesterday's news story about the biological hazards that that Fish and Wildlife had to pick up there, yeah, don't get me started on it. Anyway, John, have a great weekend. Have a good Memorial Day weekend. Thanks for joining us on the Wake Up Call. Congratulations again on the show, and we will talk to you next Friday.
Looking forward to it. Have a great weekend,
All right, you take care, John.
See you, John. Other things going on, of course, the NC2A Championship starts today. The NC2A Championship in golf, men's golf, goes through Wednesday. They have different events going on. If you have a chance, get down there to the Eugene Country Club and see the best college golfers in the country, and some of them Oregon Ducks. Pre-Classic tonight and tomorrow. There's some events going on tonight. Of course, tomorrow it's a jam-packed 2.5-hour stint there, even on TV, but we're going to try to hook you up with some tickets in a couple of seconds. And the Eugene Scottish Festival is going on. That's going on this weekend. Of course, on Monday, many different Memorial Day events going on. We're going to be talking with Jim about one of my favorites here in Eugene. They're at the Pioneer Cemetery on campus. It's an incredible event that they've been doing for years. And if you're looking for one or want to check out a new one, highly recommend it. Tickets just after the top of the hour for Pre coming up on 1120 KPNW.
Built for business. In business, time is money. In business, money is also money. No wonder nearly 1,000 businesses choose Comcast Business Internet over DSL from the phone company every single day. Not only is it up to 5 times faster, it's actually a better value when you go with the fastest plan. So take a minute out of your busy schedule and call Comcast Business. It will be well worth your time and your money.
Switch to Comcast Business Internet. Then add voice and TV for just $34.90 a month. And ask about our 2-year price guarantee. Call 800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Offer ends 5/31/16. Restrictions apply. Limited to one voice line and private view TV for new customers. 2-year contract required. Requires Comcast Business Internet at an additional monthly charge. Equipment taxes and fees, including broadcast TV fee extra. Savings claim based on cost per megabits per second. Compares Comcast 100 megabits per second and 20 megabits per second DSL downloads.
The best real estate market in a decade. Less homes for sale, coupled with low interest rates, get you the top dollar for your house in today's market.
So if you have to sell so that you can buy and you don't want to be without a place, you need to call Eric and Jeanette Harpole with Keller Williams Realty. Really, they're expert negotiators. They specialize in working with their clients that need to sell so they can buy their next home. And if you want to sell within your time frame and get the most money possible, these are the folks.
Obviously, you know that not all agents are the same. In fact, Eric, Jeanette, and their team outsell all other agents in Lane County. The reason? Better marketing, top-notch negotiating, their exclusive enhanced listing program, and unlike other agents, they offer flexible commissions. Hey, if you're not happy, fire them. You are in control.
You can get free information about selling your house this spring or summer. Give them a call, 541-286-3030. That's 541-286-3030. Or just go to harpolehomes.com in Lane or Douglas County.
Last year, over 15,000 children in Lane County spent at least one night in foster care. CASA of Lane County provides a powerful voice for these children by training community members to advocate on their behalf in court. These court-appointed special advocates serve as the eyes and ears of the judge to facilitate the child's movement through the foster care system into safe and permanent homes as quickly as possible. If you are interested in becoming a CASA, please call 541-984-3132 or visit casa-lane.org.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but you grew up and things changed. Well, it's time to put it back on your list. Innovative things are happening in teaching today, and you can be a part of it.
Make more. Teach. Visit teach.org. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Fox News, fair and balanced. We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW Eugene Springfield.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. He did not apologize, but President Obama reflected on the horror at Hiroshima.
Mere words cannot give voice to such suffering.
He's the first sitting U.S. president to visit the site of the first atomic bombing that helped end World War II. Fox's Alistair Wanklin is there, live in Japan.
Dave, he laid a wreath and then he stood in silence near where the bomb fell. He said what the world needs is a future in which
Hiroshima and Nagasaki are known not as the dawn of atomic warfare, but as the start of our own moral awakening.
he said he will not live to see the world go non-nuclear, but he said all nations that have the weapons must work to that end. Some observers said Obama's visit was unthinkable only a few years ago, Dave.
Alistair, 2 people are missing in the Austin, Texas area after up to 9 inches of rain overnight caused flooding.
The message I'm trying to get out is for nobody to drive in Bastrop County, except in an extreme emergency.
Mike Fisher is Bastrop's emergency management coordinator. 5 people were airlifted by helicopter off the top of their homes. There's a disturbance off Florida's east coast with a 90% chance of forming into a tropical storm. The hurricane season starts Wednesday. We'll get a government prediction later this hour on how many named storms to expect. It's graduation day at the Naval Academy.
You've chosen one of the noblest professions there is.
Defense Secretary Ash Carter delivering the commencement address a short time ago in Annapolis. This is the first class with cadets majoring in cyber operations. A Cincinnati woman picked the right place to choke on food. A senior living center in Cincinnati where an old doctor lives, and he was there to help. His name, Henry Heimlich, the guy who developed the famous maneuver to save choking people. He's 96 years old, and it's the first time he's ever used the Heimlich to save someone. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
This tip of the week brought to you by Neurospine Institute.
Does your child participate in team sports? There are numerous benefits, but these activities also come with the risk of injury. If your young athlete plays baseball, soccer, tennis, or some other sport, they might get hurt. Neurospine Institute has several physicians that specialize in sports medicine, and they'll help your rising star recover so they can get back in the game. Conveniently located off Coburg Road near Autzen Stadium, their facility includes an on-site surgery center, runner's clinic, and physical therapy center, all under one roof.
Are you living with chronic pain? The specialists at Neurospine Institute can diagnose the problem and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your symptoms. Their comprehensive services include clinical and surgical procedures, sports medicine, physical therapy, medical imaging, and pain management. Neurospine Institute's medical professionals will work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure that you receive the best care and treatment. They serve all of Western Oregon with 2 locations, the main campus in Eugene and their Roseburg clinic. Visit neurospinellc.com today and get your life back.
A lot of Americans are either on the road, in the air, or planning to travel for Memorial Day weekend. Those flying probably arrive very early, prepared for possible long security lines. Fox's Jeff Manasso live at Chicago's O'Hare Airport.
Dave, worried about recent nightmare TSA security lines, and on this busy Memorial Day travel weekend, people aren't taking any chances.
It did make me arrive earlier today than I normally would have, so I'm here 2 hours early for a domestic flight.
We're here at O'Hare's Terminal 3, where at one point security lines were about 50 minutes long, though right now there is very little wait time at all. In fact, the TSA pre-check line, the one that costs $85 to get through,
It's taking longer than the free line. As 38 million Americans take to the sky and the roads this weekend, travel numbers, Dave, that we haven't seen since 2005.
Jeff, the chief Egyptian investigator looking for Egypt Air Flight 804 says a beacon believed to be from the plane has been detected. This as the search continues for the black box recorders to try to solve the mystery of the crash. There was a vigil and march in Cairo yesterday.
The message is to express my sympathy with the victims, with their families.
That's Andre Parent, the French ambassador to Egypt, who was at the vigil. Is it too late for Justin Bieber to say he's sorry? The pop star is being sued over that song.
Casey Daniel, who goes by the stage name White Hinterland, alleges that the iconic ambient opening riff from Sorry was stolen from her 2014 song Ring the Bell. Listen. This is Bieber and Skrillex's Sorry. The legal complaint obtained by Entertainment Weekly reads, the identical and or striking similarity of Sorry to plaintiff's song Ring the Bell surpasses the realm of generic coincidence and independent creation. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 25 points before the long holiday weekend. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
(11:20) KPNW, welcome in. Hour number 3, final 55 minutes of the week, heading into the weekend. You got some sunshine in the afternoon, about 66 for the high. 73 tomorrow, 75 on Saturday, 78 on Monday. Good looking weekend. Not too hot, not too. I think you're gonna like it. We've constructed some good elements for you. 53 currently at 11:20 KPNW. Roadways seem to be agreeing with a Friday commute. That's good. Let's hope that trend continues. If you would like to check out the 41st annual Prefontaine Classic, they're working on 20 continual sellouts, 20 consecutive sellouts there at Hayward Field. If you would like to go as our guest to honor the great spelling bee competition that they just had, which is coming up in sports as well, we'll ask you to spell a question or a word. 541-45 KPNW 888 KPNW 888. If you want a pair of tickets, like Rhonda won last hour, call us right now and we'll see if we can hook you up. Not difficult words. If you think, I can't spell Feldenkrais. We're not going to go that difficult. KPNW, good morning. Who are you?
Ben.
Ben, can you turn down your radio?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So pre-tickets up for grabs. What we need you to spell is the word chauffeur.
Yeah, chauffeur. CHAUFFER.
Missing. You know what? I'm going to give you one more try. Try again, and just realize. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Try one more time.
Chauffeur. Let's see. CHAUFFOR.
FFOR. Wish we could help you out and give you the tickets, but you were kind of in the realm and then went farther away. So we'll have to give you a big.
Oh, the FFAER.
No.
No.
Anyway, sorry.
Thanks for trying.
Oh, thanks anyway. Bye.
Okay. It's one of those tough words. 541-485 KPNW if you'd like to have a go at it. We got some tickets to give out before we take off, and also news is coming up.
Yeah, we'll have these stories in just a couple of minutes. Well, as one might expect, you're going to have some saturation patrols. We're going to tell you what the state police are going to be looking for today. We'll also tell you about what you can expect for the weekend weather for Memorial Day and beyond. We'll have the story there. Oh, the University of Oregon fraternity that was all a part of the Bacchanalia of destruction on Lake Shasta. Now they say they want to do some sort of restitution. And it makes you ask the simple question, where are the other frats and sororities that were there? Those stories and more are coming up, brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News time 8:08.
Think about all the different types of food we have in the U.S. There's Cajun and Tex-Mex, Northwest cuisine, Southern home style, and so on, and each one has a different flair, different staples, and unique dishes. Mexican food is the same way. At Burrito Amigos, you're going to get what's called Baja style. It comes from the northwest corner of Mexico, and a lot of the recipes at Burrito Amigos are family recipes, like the Baja fish tacos with cabbage, white sauce, and real cod. Normally, shrimp burritos at most places are like any other burrito, just with shrimp instead of, say, beef. Well, at Burrito Amigos, their shrimp burritos are also Baja style with the cabbage and the white sauce. You can always taste the difference at Burrito Amigos. And by the way, speaking of Baja style, stop by Burrito Amigos on 24th and Hilliard or on Highway 99 and get coconut shrimp tacos with mango pico de gallo. For the record, yep, tried them, loved them, needed seconds. Always good, always different, always friendly. Burrito Amigos in Eugene and Springfield. I'm Bill London, and I approve this message.
Find your summer dreams at Guarantee RV. This is Shannon Nill, your discount dealer at Guarantee RV Supercenters. Everybody has a favorite happy place where they can relax and spend quality time with friends and family. For me, it's the Oregon Coast and all the cute little communities around the Willamette Valley. Now through Memorial Day, Guarantee is making it easy for you to find your dreams. We're offering over $2.7 million in markdowns on 750 units. You'll find the right trailer or motorhome for your lifestyle and budget. You'll also find a free barbecue lunch and pressure-free shopping on our 28 acres of selection. You'll find easy financing and hometown treatment. Plus, trade in anything and we'll give you instant cash or credit. It's a tradition my dad started nearly 50 years ago. Browse our specials online at Guarantee.com and see why Guarantee has been named one of the top 5 RV dealers in North America. Find your summer dream now through Memorial Day at Guarantee. We're just 5 minutes north of the Eugene Airport in Junction City. Hurry, this special sale must end Monday.
Now, this morning's wake-up call with the latest news from the Northwest and your neighborhood on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. After public shaming on a national level, a U of O frat is figuring out how to make restitution over last weekend's bacchanalia of destruction at Lake Shasta. The Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity is the only Greek life organization from the U of O to step up and take direct responsibility for the massive drug and alcohol-fueled party that left a half-mile path of trash and destruction at the California lake. Yesterday, the U.S. Forest Service claimed the area was also a biological hazard and was covered with human feces, used condoms, and other biohazards. Pictures of the mess have gone viral, and the story made national news. Lambda Chi said their plan will include education and awareness of environmental issues, as well as the establishment of a philanthropy event. In addition, this coming week, they're planning a community restitution service trip to the Shasta area. A total of 18 frats and 12 sororities are part of the planning process. They're hoping for a campus-wide response. Memorial weekend is pretty much here, and the weather going into the holiday, at least for the first few hours, is not going to be all that bright here in the Eugene area.
So we have some showers around for the next couple days with an area of low pressure that's kind of been stubborn over the Pacific Northwest. But the showers are going to be few and far between. Looks like the best chance of a little bit of rain will be tonight and tomorrow morning.
Sean Weigel is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service and says the tail end of the weekend is showing promise.
Sunday and Monday looks like higher pressure is going to come in and probably resulting in a fairly nice tail end to the holiday weekend with temperatures pushing up into the 70s and possibly plenty of sunshine on Monday.
And that's pretty much an Oregon holiday weekend. A little bit of wet. Well, travel over the Memorial Weekend is expected to be at its highest level since 2005. Brad Ford says police are also planning extra patrols.
Oregon State Police will have extra troopers watching the freeways and highways. Captain Bill Fugate says drivers need to be prepared, which includes getting plenty of sleep before hitting the road.
Fatigue driving is always a concern, as well as impaired driving, distracted driving.
You can also reduce your stress behind the wheel if you leave on time and be realistic with how long the trip will take.
Take their time during their travels. There's a lot more traffic out there during this holiday weekend, so it's going to take longer, and just asking for some patience.
Before you leave, go to TripCheck.com to see if there's construction or traffic problems that'll affect your route. Brad Ford, KPNW.
9 Oregon counties are suing Governor Kate Brown and Labor Commissioner Brad Avakian over the state's 2015 paid sick leave law. They're seeking permission to literally opt out of the measure on the grounds that it's an unfunded mandate. The claim, led by Lynn County's Board of Commissioners, is set to be filed today in Lynn County Circuit Court, and notably is not asking for money or damages. According to Roger Nyquist, the Lynn County Board of Commissioners chairman and a leader in the effort. Rather, the claim hopes to stake out new legal ground in Oregon by testing, for the first time, a 1996 constitutional amendment requiring lawmakers to reimburse local governments when new programs win approval without supermajority support. The outcome could help shape a similar fight. July 1st, of course, Oregon's minimum wage will increase. Lynn County's planning on fighting that, too. Besides Lynn, Yamhill, Douglas, Jefferson, Malheur, Polk, Sherman, Morrow, and Wallowa counties have also agreed to participate in the lawsuit. Combined, the 9 counties represent roughly 400,000 to 500,000 Oregonians. Documents say a Portland police chief who was put on leave after revelations he may have lied about accidentally shooting a friend in the back during a hunting trip reeked of alcohol during an interview afterward. A sheriff's deputy said in an Oregon Fish and Wildlife report that Larry O'Day not only smelled of alcohol, but he also seemed nervous and had bloodshot eyes after the April 21st shooting. O'Day told deputies at the scene that the victim accidentally shot himself. Well, 4 days later, he told the mayor of Portland that, well, he accidentally shot his friend with a .22 caliber rifle. The chief stepped aside this week after multiple agencies launched investigations. They began a month after the shooting when officials discovered O'Day was involved. Portland police said O'Day is not going to be available for comment. 8 western states have proclaimed the need for wildfire awareness, and Brad Ford says Oregon is one of them.
To take steps to better prepare our communities and homes for wildfires, Oregon is joining Washington, Nevada, California, Idaho, Utah, Montana, and South Dakota in the proclamation signed by each governor. Chris Babbs of Keep Oregon Green says 2015 was a record-breaking wildfire season for Oregon.
1,400 fires on federal and state lands, and we spent $82 million to suppress those fires.
This year's wildfire season is predicted to pose a substantial threat across Oregon. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
KPNW News Time is 8:16. A Portland defense attorney has been arrested on the suspicion of heroin and meth possession. Jeffrey Milstein was arrested in the Clackamas County Courthouse. Court records say that the accusations against Milstein stem from a May 16th incident at the Chinook Winds Casino in Lincoln City. A probable cause affidavit says casino staff called police after someone saw a woman and 2 men inside a car smoking drugs. Police later found the car and say several meth pipes, a glob of heroin, and other drug paraphernalia were inside the vehicle. Court records say Milstein, his 28-year-old client, Brock Kellen, and 30-year-old Candace Gooch were arrested on possession of meth and heroin charges. Kellen and Gooch were arrested previously. Milstein has been a member of the Oregon Bar since 2008. Severe thunderstorms are hitting much of central Texas and dropping at least one powerful tornado. Residents in the Byron College area are now picking up the pieces from a twister that plowed through their neighborhood.
I didn't even know that there was a tornado until I got here, and then I had no roof on top of my living room.
That's Bryan resident Patty Ponzio. Her family lost their home of 29 years to that tornado. The city's fire officials are reporting at least 3 other homes were destroyed, 60 are damaged. Other parts of Texas saw widespread street and road flooding. Fortunately, there have been no reports of deaths or even injuries in this latest round of severe weather. Well, the leader of a wildlife refuge occupation in Oregon has retained a new lawyer to defend him against a federal conspiracy charge. Ammon Bundy has hired J. Morgan Philpott, a former Utah state representative who was born in Oregon. The outspoken tactics of Bundy's previous lawyer, Mike Arnold of Eugene, drew complaints to the Oregon State Bar. Most have been dismissed, but a few are pending questions about his use of social media. The federal case against more than 24 people stems from the Bundy-led 41-day occupation of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge earlier this year. Bundy has pleaded not guilty to conspiracy charges, possession of firearms in a federal facility, and the use or carrying of a firearm during a violent crime. Well, the Portland School District says that tests have found high levels of lead in drinking water at 2 schools. Evidently, the district found elevated lead levels in 6 of 56 drinking fountains and other water sources that were tested at Creston K-8. The district says it immediately began replacing those water fountains and sink fixtures. Meanwhile, tests at Rose City Park's campus this spring found lead levels above federal standards in 8 of 36 fountains or sinks there. Parents had requested the tests in that situation. Portland Public Schools spokesperson Christine Miles says the district has budgeted money to test sinks and water fountains across all 78 school buildings this summer. The Beaverton School District also announced this week it had detected lead in a pair of drinking fountains at one of its middle schools. School officials also say they'll test 52 of their schools as well. And a Frontier Airlines flight from Denver to Portland never made it off the runway because of, well, a passenger who was having a wee bit of a problem, Brad Ford reports.
I don't believe it! I don't believe it!
The woman started acting out when the plane pulled away from the terminal and started taxiing. The man who uploaded the video didn't want to be identified, but tells Fox 31 in Denver that she was acting strange before boarding the flight.
Her behaviors were real erratic, up and down, crying and laughing and then crying. And,
even before she got on the plane?
Correct.
She laid on the floor near the cockpit, kicking and screaming, and then took off all of her clothes.
There was no clothes, not even socks.
The pilots returned to the terminal, and the woman was removed by police. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
It's 8:20. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Still kind of hard to believe that it was Golden State, the defending NBA champs, the team that had just rung up 73 wins in the season. Their backs against the wall, down 3-1 entering the game last night with Oklahoma City, but it was at home. The Warriors, needing usual confidence and flair, they were able to muster a little bit of it and hit the 120-111 win. Steph Curry, a couple at 3, seemed like he's closer to his former self, but it was Andrew Bogut. Stepped up 15 points, 14 rebounds in 30 minutes. Series now down, 3-2 in favor of the Thunder. They can close it out in Game 6 at home. Blazer point guard Damian Lillard named to the All-NBA second team, one of the 2 reasons the Blazers won 44 games and made it to the second round. Damian, All-NBA for the second time in his career, even though he failed to make the All-Star team. It appears that Baylor is going to be firing head coach Art Briles for countless alleged sexual violence that not only went unacknowledged, but there are stories that coaches got involved with victims to quiet their accusations. In the last 5 years, the Baylor Bears won 50 games and 2 Big 12 Conference championships. Unbelievable that you would even allow any of this to even be rumored to have happened in your program. And I wonder what daughter Staley has to say about this. And then this happened last night.
Feldenkrais.
F-E-L-D-E-N-K-R-A-I-S, Feldenkrais. Who doesn't know how to spell that word? At the Scripps National Spelling Bee, Nihar Jenga and Jerem Hathwar shared the title. The NC2A Championships for men golf. Men's golf kicks off today at the Eugene Country Club. Oregon teed off about an hour ago, getting ready to tee off on 10, California, LSU, and Clemson. If you want to check out the Ducks tomorrow, they're on 10 at 12:42. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle. Stop in and check out the new additions to the Max Pro Protein Powder lineup. Chocolate malt, blueberry, and strawberry banana. Across from Market of Choice on Franklin in Eugene. News time, 8:22.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes or you're already out and about, we are looking at mostly cloudy skies, but I expect them to become partly cloudy fairly quickly. Temps right now are in the upper 40s to low 50s with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. Once again, today we're looking at a deep marine layer coming off of the water. That's where the clouds have been coming from the last few days with winds out of the northwest. By this afternoon, they should start to thin out, and it leads to partly cloudy skies. That means it'll be a little bit warmer with highs in the mid to upper 60s with a few low 70s. I also expect winds to pick up in the afternoon out of the northwest at 10 to 15 with a few gusts of 20. But there's some good news in the forecast. We're expecting high pressure to start to move in Saturday night into your Sunday, and then several days after that right through the holiday that are mostly sunny, and by the time we get to the middle of next week, temps will be back in the mid to low 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
The Prefontaine Classic on Saturday, May 28th will have more Olympic medalists than any other meet in history.
Prefontaine moving it up. And these people are going crazy for Steve Prefontaine as he moved down the stretch for one of the fastest races of his life.
The stars of the upcoming Rio Olympic Games will be at Hayward Field on Saturday, May 28th.
No doubt about it, Steve Prefontaine, our national AAU champion, and listen to that crowd.
Purchase your tickets at GoDucks.com or 1-800-WEBFOOT.
Where's your finish line? Set a goal, make a plan, get results. Max Muscle offers customized nutrition plans by a certified nutritionist. Learn what and how much food to eat, when to eat, and how it relates to your body. Stop into Max Muscle today, Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in Eugene? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Eugene area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Eugene is a perfect market for my system, and this week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, call 1-800-339-3418. Seating is extremely limited. Call right now because this free ticket offer expires this Friday. That's 1-800-339-3418. That's 1-800-339-3418.
Endurance, speed, and power of elite student athletes will be on display. The sights, the sounds, the intensity of an NCAA championship. It all comes down to this moment. Time to lay it all on the line. Be there to share the experience with your family and friends. The 2016 NCAA Division I Men's and Women's Outdoor Track and Field Championships, June 8th through the 11th at historic Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon. Visit ncaa.com/track and field to secure your championship tickets today.
Sponsored by T-Mobile. Switch to the Uncarrier today. T-Mobile.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. I feel like I'm choking.
Prevent your child's next asthma attack. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor, because even one attack is one too many.
I feel like a fish with no water.
Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
1120 KPNW 827. Attorney Jim Walsh is in the studio to chat about a number of things. There's so many different directions we could go to start things out. But Jim, thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you, Rob. I'm happy to be here. And as I indicated, I'm a member of American Legion Post 3. We'd like to invite the public to attend the Memorial Day observance at the Eugene Pioneer Cemetery, located at the corner of 18th and University Street. It's actually about 85 yards north of the intersection of 18th and Potter Street.
I want to stop you because I definitely want to talk about that and give its right due, because it is an amazing event. And what you've said too off the air is that it's been going on for years. We'll talk more about that. I want to talk about the American Legion, though. For somebody that maybe has heard or kind of thought about it but just never knew what that is. What is American Legion Post 3?
Okay, thank you. The American Legion was created in 1919 following the end of World War I. It is America's largest veterans organization, and it serves as an advocate for veterans affairs. It has considerable respect from Congress, and annually you will see the leaders of the American Legion and the veterans of foreign wars making appearances on Capitol Hill, arguing for veterans' rights and benefits. The American Legion is a program that's eligible to all veterans who serve during time of war but who may not have deployed outside the United States continental limits. The Veterans of Foreign Wars is more restrictive on its membership. Veterans who served overseas during time of war are eligible for membership in the Veterans of Foreign Wars. So between the two organizations, the American Legion is probably the larger group. And our local post was created in 1919 by returning veterans from World War I, and included actually a faculty member from the University of Oregon Law School. And so we'll be 100 years old in 2019. We're already working on planning a 100th year anniversary birthday party for our post, and there will be celebrations nationwide, as there are very large number of posts that trace their lineage back to 1919 and the year immediately following World War I.
That's pretty amazing that Eugene had an American Legion post right there at the very beginning of the creation of the American Legion.
That's true, and Portland had post number 1, Salem had post 2, and Eugene had post number 3. And the mail all went through Portland.
Yeah.
Salem and Eugene mailed their applications at the same time, but the Salem post got their mail delivered first, and so that's why they're post 2 and we're post number 3.
So was the American Legion founded in the state of Oregon by somebody from Oregon then?
No, actually after the armistice in 1918, the soldiers didn't have a lot to do, and General Pershing created a group of about 20 individuals, which included one of Teddy Roosevelt's sons, and they met in France to plan for the organization of the American Legion. They came back to the United States and then had a convention in Kansas City, at which time the American Legion was organized. It received a congressional charter that year, and it is one of a very few congressionally chartered veterans organizations.
Wow.
But post 1, Portland was the first to be
in the state of Oregon.
The state of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. And I assume with your involvement that you served.
I did. I served in the Army 1979 to 83 on active duty, and then until 1996 in the reserves.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm fortunate that I was not a combat veteran, and I served during a time of relative peace. And as a lawyer and volunteer with veterans legal aid programs, I'm aware that a lot of people have had a more difficult time in the service than I did.
When you say that you're a part of Veterans Legal Aid Services, talk a little bit about that.
Here in Lane County, a close friend of mine, Brian Boonder, was instrumental in setting up a...
We've had Brian on the show a couple of times.
Okay, great. Well, Brian is a real leader, and he's a lawyer as well, but the VA nationally was tasked with trying to come up with resources, legal resources for veterans that would be available at no charge. And Brian, together with a local firm called Access the Law, applied for and got the contract with our local VA clinic. And so once a month we provide free consultations to veterans. They come from all over Southern Oregon, or we do it by telephone with them. And so we have about half of our attorney volunteers are veterans, approximately 8 attorneys in all. And so we do that on the last Wednesday of the month at the VA Behavioral Health Sciences Building, which is the old federal courthouse in downtown Eugene.
Now, for folks then that maybe are hearing this for the first time, didn't even realize this service was available, how do they get in contact with you? Do you have a website? What's a way that they can actually access your services?
Okay, two methods. One is by contacting the VA clinic, and the second is by contacting Access the Law, which is the law firm that actually administers the program. and then a staff of law student volunteers handles the intake process, and then the veterans are directed to come to the VA clinic downtown the last Wednesday of the month, and from 5 to 7 p.m. The volunteers meet with veterans of all services, all age groups, and try and be of assistance.
Jim Walsh from American Legion number 3, post 3, joining us on the Wake Up Call. Do you find in this, and this is kind of a generalized question, but in this, say access to the law, in other ways where there's a way, and it's not a handout, but it's a way that vets can take advantage of things to help them.
That's true.
Do you find that most vets are receptive?
Yes. I think there are a lot of veterans facing significant issues with poverty, particularly older veterans. A lot of veterans are disadvantaged in one way or another, some by physical or mental disabilities or problems. And so I think that veterans are very receptive for any help they can get. Within Lane County, things are getting better. We now, thanks again to Brian Boonder and to receptive judges and prosecutors, we have a Veterans Court program as well, which is also largely staffed by volunteers. And it's a method of trying to keep veterans out of jail or prison. And unfortunately, Oregon incarcerates veterans at a higher rate than just about any other state.
Yeah, when we had Brian on the show, that he mentioned that.
Yeah, it's true.
And why?
I don't know if it's... I just think there has not been any special outreach or energy directed at keeping veterans out of prison. A lot of people returning from combat zones are somewhat rattled by the experience and may turn to substance abuse, domestic violence. There are other things that bring them before the court. It's a hard time for combat veterans to transition back into the civilian world, and along the way, some err, they commit crimes, but the Veterans Court is a real meaningful program. The veterans have mentors. They have a special judge dedicated to meet with them and monitor their progress, much like the court many years ago set up a drug court program, trying to keep people out of prison and help them, get the help they need. So this is a similar program for veterans, but they may not all have a substance abuse problem. They may have committed an offense that brings them before the court involving any of a number of things. But it is a first-time effort to try and help keep our veterans out of prison.
Well, how many of these cases? Well, let me rephrase that. Your feeling about many of these cases, how many of these folks do you think maybe had reached out to the VA initially for some sort of, assistance? I know that for quite a while they had a huge backlog of folks that were trying to get counseling for PTSD and a variety of other things, and were unable to get it because they just didn't have the staff. How many of these cases do you think are occurring because in one form or another maybe the VA has dropped the ball on assisting these people when they had reached out for some sort of assistance?
I would say that VA healthcare has definitely improved, and particularly with the opening of the new clinic here in Eugene. I volunteer at the Behavioral Services facility, and I think overall they do a very good job in treating veterans with psychological or psychiatric issues, and certainly PTSD is something that's very real. I've had a number of encounters with deeply disturbed young veterans, some in their early 20s, whose lives are completely changed and who are now considered 100% disabled. And unfortunately, some of those people have trouble making good choices and find themselves in the criminal justice system. And so, despite the care that might be available through the VA, they're not monitored 24/7. They're out in the community, and people with behavioral issues may turn to drugs or alcohol, particularly. And so those people will find themselves sometimes involved with the judicial system, and that is not uncommon. But I think that the VA overall is doing a very good job treating people with mental health issues. It represents a lot of what they do, and there is obviously a great need for those services, but I would not fault them. I would say that I think there's a staff of very dedicated professionals doing the best they can with the resources they have.
Jim Walsh, a local attorney in studio, to talk now about something that I have fallen in love with a couple of years ago. I'd fallen in love with the events that happened at the Pioneer Cemetery. You say it's been going on, for years here in Eugene.
That's true. Probably our post's involvement at the Eugene Pioneer Cemetery goes back to the early 1920s. And for about 40 plus years, one man, Paul Gilbertson, a member of our Post 3, was responsible for keeping that tradition alive. And Paul passed away in 2010, and since then I've been the event coordinator. I think this year we're going to have an absolutely wonderful ceremony. We have the Shasta Middle School Band and Choir will be present. The band's going to perform patriotic marches. The choir will sing the national anthem and America the Beautiful. We'll have Boy Scout Troop 182 involved, helping to decorate the graves of the Union veterans that are buried there at the Pioneer Cemetery. It's a very unique burial plot, approximately 60 Union veterans of the Civil War. It's a very wonderful, beautiful setting. We'll have Civil War reenactors from the Sons of the Union Veterans. They'll read General Logan's order, which was the order that originally established what was called Decoration Day. We call it Memorial Day now. And they'll fire a black powder rifle salute during the ceremony. We have a wonderful young man, Dustin McCluskey, who will be our guest speaker. Dustin was a captain in the Army. He's in the Army Reserve now. He served as a platoon leader in Afghanistan. And then we have Mr. Stephen Holgate, who will appear as Abraham Lincoln and recite the Gettysburg Address. And together with Rabbi Maurice Harris, who will give our invocation, I also mentioned the Eugene Fire Department's bagpipe band. I think we're going to have a wonderful celebration of this very solemn occasion.
Holgate, by the way, is incredible. He I think, is by far the best Abraham Lincoln, what's the word? Not impressionist.
Impersonator.
I've ever seen.
He was wonderful last year, which was the 150th anniversary of the end of the Civil War. He came and did a full Lincoln Town Hall presentation. This year his remarks will be limited to the Gettysburg Address immediately following our speaker. And then at the conclusion of the ceremony, the cemetery staff and the Sons of Union Veterans have identified a number of veteran graves in the cemetery that weren't marked with appropriate veteran headstones, and they'll be dedicating some new headstones on recently discovered veterans' graves.
So what time should people think about coming out?
Well, the ceremony's going to start as the church bells at Central Lutheran Church chime 11 o'clock. Probably 11:15 would be a good time to arrive. The Shasta Middle School Band will play some musical numbers as the folks arrive and get ready for the ceremony. And then, as I said, once the church bells chime 11 o'clock, the ceremony will begin.
Happens Monday at the Pioneer Cemetery there on the Oregon campus, right across the street from the old MacArthur Court.
That's
Gene
correct.
Sanders Arena, or Stadium. Jim, thank you so much for coming in. We'll definitely have you back anytime.
Okay, thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Absolutely. 842.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are edging higher as Wall Street waits to hear from the Fed chief. The Dow up 25 points, the Nasdaq up 17, and the S&P up 5. Janet Yellen is speaking at Harvard this afternoon. The latest estimate of first quarter GDP shows the economy growing at a slightly better pace than first thought, but it's still just 0.8% compared with the initial 0.5% estimate, and inflation is holding at an annual rate of just over 2%. This investment strategist says the Fed won't take much from that.
I think more the decision is honestly about how much they're going to worry about the global, what's going on in the globe and the downside risk from that.
Bill Stone at PNC Asset Management. There's no escaping Facebook ads. Facebook is expanding its advertising network to other websites and mobile apps, so companies that buy ad space from Facebook can reach beyond the social network. Facebook's also teaming up with Microsoft to lay an undersea cable that will stretch from Virginia to Spain. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
Shopping for your next grill at Midgley's is easy and convenient. Unlike home improvement stores, a walk across Midgley's doesn't require a relay baton. We know all about grills, too. Just don't ask us about sandpaper or toilet seats. And you don't need to remember where you parked. Our customer-friendly lot is directly behind our store. Get your next grill at Midgley's. We're at 7th and Chambers in Eugene. Midgley's. Anywhere else, and you're just playing with fire. CCB 161946.
If you're thinking about a new RV or an RV upgrade, don't make a decision without seeing what the RV Corral can do for you. At the RV Corral, serving you is at the top of their list. It all starts with their newly expanding award-winning service and parts department. Are you looking to sell or consign your RV? The RV Corral will buy your RV for cash or free consignment. High trade-in allowance too. With local owners for 28 years and all local employees, the RV Corral will be there to help you make your RV dreams come true. Easy to find on Highway 99, 1 mile south of Bell Line. Buy anywhere else, you'll pay too much.
Rodent droppings, insects, dirt, lost jewelry, and toys? What is in your heating and cooling ductwork? Contact Pacific Air Comfort, your local Carrier factory authorized dealer, to inspect your home's heating and cooling system's ductwork for free. Turn to the experts for your home, and their professional staff will inspect your heating and cooling system and ducts, offering solutions that address your needs. Clean air ducts or new Carrier equipment, they will make you Pacific Air comfortable. Pacific Air Comfort. Quality system design, quality Carrier equipment, quality installation, and outstanding 24/7 service and repairs. Visit PacificAirComfort.com. That's PacificAirComfort.com. Or call 541-342-5300. That's 541-342-5300 to receive Pacific Air Comfort's award-winning service today.
ALS is a tough disease to fight. Relentlessly progressive, we have no therapy for it. And virtually everyone who gets the disease ultimately succumbs to it. How do we stop this? How do we break through ALS? The ALS Therapy Alliance has been instrumental in discovery and treatment. The issue is being willing to take risks where we think there's a very high payback. We are a team of fighters. Randy is a fighter. Help us break through ALS. Thank you.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. We've got partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy due to the marine layer out there. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s, and light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10, as well as a little bit of light coastal drizzle. Now, as we move through the day, we'll see partly cloudy skies move in this afternoon, see this cloud deck start to break up. That'll allow things to warm up a bit, back into the mid-60s to a couple of low 70s. I also expect winds to pick up in the afternoon out of the northwest at 10 to 15, a few gusts of 20. There's good news in the forecast, though. We are tracking a ridge of high pressure set to move in Saturday into your Sunday for the holiday weekend, and then sit over the Pacific Northwest for several days, bringing sunshine, and by the time we get to the middle to late part of next week, temps are going to be back into the mid-80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day.
I'm proud to call myself their #1 listener.
The Wake Up Call with Holloway in London.
All right, sweethearts, what are you waiting for?
On News Radio 1120. KPNW.
8:48. Last couple minutes of a show and of a week. And if you're looking for something, boy, we had a busy 3-day weekend. We just talked to Jim, something going on Monday over there at the Pioneer Cemetery. Tomorrow night, we got something going on that is such a great idea, and it's for the runners out there. Jason is in studio to talk about this incredible event. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me.
We're talking about this X Glow event to benefit. What's it benefiting?
Right. So the race is called Glow XC. It's a 7K night run. That's a charity race, and we partnered with the Oregon Office of Rural Health and their Apple a Day campaign specifically, and that benefits rural volunteer 911 responders. Because currently, we all love the beautiful state of Oregon and traveling around it. In the rural portions of the state, upwards of 40% of the people who respond if you call 911 are volunteers. And so they're currently volunteering their time, and then they even have to pay for their certifications. So what the Apple a Day campaign does is provide individual grants and group grants up to $300 per person to provide money for the textbooks, for the test, the course, so that at least they don't have to pay for the certifications along with volunteering their time, so that these places can be staffed.
I'm assuming that when you say the 911 responders, you're talking about the EMTs, fire, et cetera, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And because for a second there, when you said 911, I'm like, oh, the 911 operators are they're volunteers. I didn't know that. I thought they were paid.
So no, these are the people who actually show up and then provide you the care in person.
Well, that's very cool.
40%.
Yes,
that's amazing.
Yeah, outside of the Eugene and Portland areas, it's an average of about 40% are volunteers, and most people don't know that. And a lot of the time they're actually responding to people in Eugene and Portland. So it's really wonderful, if you come out tonight, tomorrow night to the race, where we're going to be raising money, to support these people. And today is packet pickup at Sports Authority. It's 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Registration's open tonight until 7 p.m. But then there's also same-day registration tomorrow. And the race actually is out in a rural area, which is Elijah Bristow State Park.
Oh, it's a great park.
Oh, it's really beautiful. The trails are pretty wide, and then we line the course, since it's a night run, with thousands of little bags that have colorful LEDs in them. And so, it's just this beautiful run through these, nice flat horse trails. We give you a headlamp as well. It's very safe. I think the worst that's ever happened is a scraped knee. And so it's just this beautiful event. There will be DJ Laser Dave as well. And if you can't make it, you can always, volunteer, or donate on our site, glowxc.com.
So how many lights? How long is the race?
The race is a 7,000-meter run, which is about 4.5 miles.
A 7K?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And so how many lights in a 7K?
Oh, gosh. There are about 3,700 lights. And so it's definitely a big task, but that way, the whole time you're inundated with these, beautiful, LEDs that are sort of just casting the shadows out on, the trees and the landscape, guiding you on your night run or walk.
How long does it take to set up?
Oh, my goodness. So we'll be out there tomorrow morning, probably starting about 8, trying to set it up. And we have to get golf carts out there. It takes hours. And so definitely we could never do this without the volunteers that help us quite a bit. And we can always use more.
So do you have to take them down immediately after the race, or do you take them off in the morning?
We do both. Anyone who's volunteering for cleanup the next day has the opportunity to camp out the night of.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And so, we'll be able to, kind of just extend our stay, camp out, and then the next day continue the cleanup. But it's quite a process.
So what time is the actual run?
The actual run is at 9:30 p.m., and parking is actually at Dexter Recreation Site, which is very close by, and then we have shuttles. So it's at 9:30 p.m. when it's dark. And just a shout out to Dexter Volunteer Fire Department. They always provide our medical for free. They are actually beneficiaries of
I was
the
going to
Apple
say,
Day
they
campaign.
probably want you to do this.
Yeah, and so this is, very close to their heart.
Yeah.
And they've just, always done such an incredible job. I can't imagine, if we didn't support groups like that, because from my own personal experience, I've benefited from them being staffed, and I'm so happy that the Apple a Day campaign and Glow XC exists to continue to support them.
Is that how you got involved in this? Is the fact that you needed their services at one point or another?
No, it's actually that, a friend of mine who's now in medical school, we wanted to create this race along with, a college friend who, now is in Salt Lake, and he's the president of Glow XC now. And we were deciding, what charity to work with. And, we just thought, who has not been helped as much as they should? And so I think I just did a Google search for underserved populations in Oregon, and we found this wonderful Apple a Day campaign. And, Scott Eckbald and Rob Dumeg, they're, the directors of the Oregon Office of Rural Health. We just called them up, and we said, hey, could we create a race and donate to you? And they said, absolutely. And they've just been incredibly supportive. Because, most people don't even know about the plight of the rural volunteer 911 responder. And so it was just really wonderful to partner with people who are so supportive and, deserve some extra spotlight shown on them.
I imagine you'll have some of those responders at the race tomorrow, correct?
I would hope so. I'm not necessarily aware of how many of our registrants are responders.
Possible.
But yes, I mean, or family and friends, because, it's a great way to, if you have, EMS responders in your life, or you benefited from them, it's a wonderful way to show your support by, either running, volunteering, or donating.
Okay, so talk about the registration going on today.
Right. So today is the day before the race. And so today there's packet pickup at Sports Authority, and that's the Valley River Center Sports Authority, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then you can always register on our site. That's the best place to register, and that is www.glow, just glowxc.com. And if you can't make packet pickup today, especially if you're hearing about this for the first time right now and, you have to work and you can't make it after, then you can always pick up your packet tomorrow at the race course. But I would suggest arriving to Dexter Recreation Site around 8:15, just to, get there early enough for the shuttle to pick up your, bib number and all of that. And
how many people do you expect to be racing?
I would say about, 200, 250, somewhere around there. And so, we're really happy that all these people are coming out on Memorial Day weekend to, spend it appreciating rural volunteer 911 responders.
Pretty unique run. I don't think I've ever seen anything of its kind.
Oh, of course. And, the level of, beauty from the trails as well. Just with the bags and the different colors, every mile is a different color. And then, you can just see the stars in the forest area.
And you don't
It's
have that
just
pesky
remarkable.
powder that you have to run through and breathe.
Oh, absolutely.
Very cool. All right. Hey, Jason, thanks for coming in.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Happening tomorrow night at great park. I love Bristow. All right. Before we go out of here, we got to hook you up with some tickets to Pre. If you would like to go to the show happening tomorrow at Hayward Field, we'll say caller number 4, and you'll get our last pair of tickets. 541-485-KPNW, 888-KPNW, 888. If you want to go to Hayward tomorrow, compliments of the Wake Up Call, call us right now. Hey, have a great weekend. And we'll be with you again Tuesday, 6:05, right here on 1120 KPNW. Bye for now.
Mud season's over. It's time to clean the area rug. And that professional deep clean will never be more affordable than today. That's because the 20% off May cleaning special is going on now at Atia Brothers. No one else gets a rug cleaner because no one else has the equipment, experience, and expertise you'll find at Atia Brothers. And with savings of 20%, the best clean in town just got even better. Say goodbye to dirt. Say hello to a cleaner, safer home. Visit AtiaBros.com for more details.
Find your summer dreams at Guarantee RV. This is Shannon Mill, your discount dealer at Guarantee RV Supercenters. Everybody has a favorite happy place where they can relax and spend quality time with friends and family. For me, it's the Oregon Coast and all the cute little communities around the Willamette Valley. Now through Memorial Day, Guarantee is making it easy for you to find your dreams. We're offering over $2.7 million in markdowns on 750 units. You'll find the right trailer or motorhome for your lifestyle and budget. You'll also find a free barbecue lunch and pressure-free shopping on our 28 acres of selection. You'll find easy financing and hometown treatment. Plus, trade in anything and we'll give you instant cash or credit. It's a tradition my dad started nearly 50 years ago. Browse our specials online at Guarantee.com and see why Guarantee has been named one of the top 5 RV dealers in North America. Find your summer dream now through Memorial Day at Guarantee. We're just 5 minutes north of the Eugene Airport in Junction City. Hurry, this special sale must end Monday.
And last but not least, the backyard.
Wow, is that new siding? How'd you fit that into the budget?
Well, actually, that's the old siding.
No way.
Yeah, a little sanding and some Rada Cover Coat exterior paint with a lifetime warranty made it look brand new.
You know, now you just need a trampoline.
Well, my birthday is next week.
Keep dreaming, buddy.
Trust the professionals at Rada Paint. Find the expert nearest you at RadaPaint.com.
Rada Paint. Finish right.
Today, you ate Greek yogurt. You took the train. You wondered why people spend so much time reading celebrity blogs. You read a celebrity blog. You planned a workout. You skipped it. You did all the things that one normally does the day before a devastating earthquake shakes the community to the ground. You never know when the day before is the day before. Prepare for tomorrow at ready.gov/today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
We're all part of your community.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe. So protect your every day.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield,
Fox News Radio, I'm Joe Chiro. President Obama winding down his trip to Asia with a visit to Hiroshima, Japan. Fox's Alistair Wanklin is live in Hiroshima.
Joe, he spent about an hour at Hiroshima's Ground Zero, where he laid a wreath and stood in silence. The president paid tribute to the victims, including several captured U.S. troops who died in the blast.
We come to ponder a terrible force unleashed in a not-so-distant past.
He did not apologize. Recent opinion polls in Japan have shown a majority of people here sought not an apology, but recognition of the suffering. Meanwhile, Joe, President Obama now flying home after his two-nation Asian tour.
Thanks, Alistair. Economists encouraged by the government's report today that the economy grew at an annual rate of 0.8% in the first quarter. But it's still the weakest pace in a year. It's better, though, than earlier estimates. More rain could fall today in southeastern Texas, already inundated by floodwaters in some places. The city of Burnham got almost 1.5 feet of rain. People being told in nearby Bastrop County to stay off the roads.
The message I'm trying to get out is for nobody to drive in Bastrop County except in an extreme emergency. And if there's a medical problem or a high water problem, dial 911. Don't try to get out and drive in it.
That's Mike Fisher with Bastrop County's Office of Emergency Management. 5 people were rescued by helicopter from the roof of a home, and 2 other people remain missing. The U.S. government releasing its forecast for this Atlantic hurricane season, saying it expects a near normal number of storms. The National Hurricane Center says a storm could be brewing between Bermuda and the Bahamas this weekend. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Not available in all states. Whoa, what do you have there?
It's a recent Irvy's frozen yogurt. We just had our robot make one.
A robot made your frozen yogurt?
Yes, the world's first fully interactive robot vending machine that serves 9 flavors of delicious yogurt with 6 amazing toppings. And it's available for an exclusive franchise opportunity.
How do I get my own recent Irvy's robots?
It's easy, but you better act now. Locations and machines are going fast. Just go to froyofranchising.com. That's froyofranchising.com. Check it out now, froyofranchising.com.
Is the economy booming? Why is the stock market up? Hey, it's an election year. Anything goes. No matter who wins, stocks look overbought. Move into silver. Use your retirement account. Do it right. Why pay setup and storage fees? Special offer. Free setup and storage fees. Learn how. Call Goldworth. Request your guide.